about it. Here's the pass, and it's going to be a tackle by Grady Gebhardt in the middle of the field, and Southeast of Saline has won. The Trojans have won this game. They scored 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes to go. 1:50 remaining on the clock. Southeast of Saline might have been written off. They were down by 8 points, 28-20, but Southeast of Saline scores the last 16 points in this game, and the Trojans win their second state title in school history, and they win it 36-28.
This is Countdown to Kickoff for Southeast of Saline Trojan football on KINA Sports. Coming up, you'll get a preview of area games, analysis on tonight's matchups, and hear from the coach. Now, let's head to the stadium. Countdown to Kickoff starts now. On KINA and worldwide on Salina Post.
It was a successful outing for the Southeast of Saline Trojans to open a brand new football season last week in Minneapolis. Now Southeast of Saline has the real treat, returning home to a revamped campus here at Southeast of Saline. When you look at the new football field, it is an artificial surface, and the rain this week won't impact this game here tonight. Also, new press box and field house with concession stands and restrooms waiting the fans here at SES, and also what promises to be a good game tonight as Southeast of Saline takes on the Clay Center Tigers. Hello and welcome into the campus of Southeast of Saline. Steve Fritz Field is the place tonight where Southeast of Saline will have their home opener against the Tigers of Clay Center. My name is Devin Haney. I'll have play-by-play of tonight's contest along with Tyler Smith in the booth. Brian Dennett helping provide live stream video on SalinaPost.com, and helping out back at the KINA studios, producing and engineering is Nick Garst and Chris Cadle. 60-21, the score last week. Southeast of Saline goes into Minneapolis and gets off to a dominant start, 20-0 at the end of the first quarter. Then Minneapolis would score midway through the second quarter and make it a 2-possession game. Then Southeast of Saline would rattle off 32 points in less than 8 minutes to take a 52-6 lead into halftime. Exit the starters at the intermission break, and Southeast of Saline would go on to win 60-21. Gannon Jacobson with 5 passing touchdowns, Grady Gebhardt 2 receiving touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns to lead the Trojans offensively on their way to 460 yards. Southeast of Saline only gave up 188 yards in defeating Minneapolis for the 9th consecutive time. Here tonight, the Clay Center Tigers come into the stadium, and you got to think there's a little something extra to this game tonight. Clay Center is a team not in the NCAA. They're also not in Class 2A. They're coming from the NCKL in Class 3A. But this is a game between the Trojans and the Tigers that has been very good the last couple of seasons. Last year, Southeast of Saline went into Clay Center and won 22-20. Also, the year before that, Clay Center opened a brand new stadium, and Southeast of Saline gave them their first loss in their new digs, 22-17. The last time Clay Center was on campus was in 2022. That was also a Southeast of Saline victory, 26-14. Then you go back to 2020 in a playoff matchup here, also won with Southeast of Saline winning 46-8. But the last couple of seasons, I think, will prove what we're going to see tonight, a very hard-fought, tough game between these two kind of new rivals from the NCKL and the NCAA. When we come back in segment 3, we'll sit down with Mitch Gebhardt, talk more about this contest, and also flash back to last week. Also coming up, we have the voice of the Tigers from KCLY and Clay Center. It's Rocky Downey. Countdown to Kickoff is underway for Trojan football, and it's brought to you by L&L Advisors, worldwide on Salina Post and locally right here on KINA.
It's natural to think that insurance is complicated, but at Farmers Agency, we know a thing or two about helping to make it easier by explaining your available coverage options. And with over 25 years of experience in insurance, we can help you through the process step by step. Call Kniper Agency at 825-8419 to learn more today.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
It's the Frog Phone.
Lily Pad Septic, we can get you a flush in a rush. This is Callie. How can I help you flush today?
Yeah, I plunged my toilet, but it's flushing really sluggishly.
I'll send Flush the Frog over to inspect your tank today. Hold.
I'm on it, Callie.
Hop to it, Flush.
I'll be there in a splash.
Over here, Flush. Over here. Wow, that was freakishly fast.
Ah, here it is. Your septic tank needs pumped out, ma'am. I gotta get back and tell Callie.
She's still on the phone with me.
Come home safe, Flush.
Callie.
Already got a pump truck on the way. LilyPad Septic can guarantee to inspect your septic issues within 24 hours.
Or you get a free septic tank pump out worth $399.
If you need a flush in a rush, call LilyPad Septic.
LilyPadSeptic.com.
We'll be there in a splash.
Can you turn me back into coal now?
Hi, this is Geraldine Diedrich, RN. If you are planning on having surgery, it is an important decision, and finding qualified care for surgical needs is essential. At Salina Surgical Hospital, our board-certified surgeons and specialized team provide professional warmth in an intimate, home-like recovery care area. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Your surgical experience is our specialty. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local, community-involved physicians.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on pregame, it's countdown to kickoff, getting ready for Trojan football as we sit down and get a preview as we go behind enemy lines to check on the Clay Center Tigers. And to help us do that, our friend from KCLY, the voice of the Tigers, Rocky Downing. Boy, Rocky, it's week number 2, and I think a game that you and I both always look forward to, this Clay Center Southeast of Saline matchup. It's become quite the rivalry game, hasn't it?
It really has, and you said it before, Southeast Saline could easily belong in the NCKL, and kind of with the dynamics of the schools around them and the region they're in. But it has become a really good game. You guys have just pumped it out the last few years, and we gave you a test last year, which we were pretty proud of in week 2.
I always talk to Coach Gebhardt about this game, even though it's week number 2. I feel like the last 2 seasons, this has been kind of the playoff tune-up for Southeast of Saline to go into those 2A playoffs, and hopefully for Clay Center, it does the same thing. Last couple seasons for Clay Center, 5-5 last year, battled the injury bug a little bit there through the middle of the year, but just 2 years removed from a 9-2 team that went 5-0 in the NCKL. We know how tough that league is. What do you think of this year's versions of the Tigers? Off to a 1-0 start, big win last week at Abilene.
Yeah, talk about rivalries. It's always a big win to go in and get one from Abilene, and they've returned a lot of guys and have high expectations, and I think they're going to do some really good things, the Cowboys. But the Tigers, a few unknowns, so we've got some guys back on both sides of the line. Isaac Girton's a name that people will remember for sure from last year on both sides of the football. But new quarterback Cole Platson was your starter for 3 straight years, and we Coach Mark Henry, not always known for airing it out, but he adjusted to with the talent that he had, and we threw the ball around quite a bit the last few years. That won't be the case a lot this year. Drew Hoffman is stepping in. He was a great defensive beast last year at linebacker. He'll play more limited this year on defense because they got to protect him as a quarterback, but the junior handled the offense really well last week. Had a touchdown pass at 34 yards, only threw it 6 times, but they racked up 226 yards on the ground, and he scored the winning touchdown late. And there's some new names and faces that we're all kind of getting used to. It was a smart move on my part, which I do every year, to go and watch some practices and get a feel for who was going to be on the field, because there's some new names and they're doing some good stuff.
Coach Mark Henry always does such a really good job with this team. He's a defensive coach. When I think about him and what he's done, tell us about the Tiger defense. You mentioned Hoffman kind of taking some minutes to the other side of the ball. What do the Tigers look like on D this year?
I texted Mark after the game last Friday night, and I just said, hey, impressive, and I just put physical and a bunch of exclamation points, and he texted me back, and he said, man, I thought we were physical too. And I think both sides of the football are going to bring a real physicality. The defense was flying around, making plays. They had a couple of interceptions, several tackles for losses, and even late in the game, Abilene trying to make a move, and we get into the backfield and dumped them for a large loss when they needed it, and then ended it on a pick thrown down the field. So 3-man front right now for the Tigers. At least that's what we came out with against Abilene, and that's a bit of a change. They made that adjustment kind of midway through the off-season work, and it proved a great move for them last week.
If I remember right, on the offensive side of the ball, as you touched on, more of a passing offense last year with Weller coming out for football and Platson taking snaps at quarterback. But if I remember, the roots kind of go back to the flex bone. Is that right?
Flexbone is where it all begins, front and center for Coach Mark Henry and for that staff. And they've got the guys to run it right now. Drew Hoffman's 6'1", 200-pound junior quarterback. Isaac Girton is a beast in the weight room, 205, 5'11". He's at fullback. And then you go 165 and 170 on the edges with some great speed and a couple of guys that saw some time last year, which has helped them settle in, I think, for this season. So, yeah, it's going to be, I don't know, 3 yards in a cloud of dust necessarily, but they are going to try to punish you up the middle.
This is a team in the NCKL. Boy, that league is tough. And just, 2 years ago, 5-0 winning the NCKL, that should deserve a big, big trophy in itself. How do you see the North Central Kansas League this year?
Well, I was surprised last year that first game Marysville knocked off Nemaha Central, and they put together a really good season. This year they kind of got beat up by Nemaha Central, so a wild card there, I guess. Abilene, I think, is going to be very competitive and win some games. Wamego is just kind of a machine. They keep feeding new guys into the system, and they've got some people returning. Chapman Concordia's got some athletes this year and had a tough matchup against Wamego in week 1. So, yeah, it's Rock Creek probably right there with Wamego as far as teams to really keep an eye on the North Central Kansas League.
This has been such a fun matchup. Out of classification, out of league. It's just a date that I hope when the 2-year flip comes next year, we still are having this conversation with the Tigers and the Trojans getting together. Over the last 2 games that both happened in Clay Center, a total of 7 points separate these 2 teams. So they've been great, great games, haven't they?
They have, and you guys have such a great talent pool, and you kind of keep refeeding the system. It's been very impressive. What you guys have been able to do, and coming off of a state championship and looking at the numbers from week 1, you lit the scoreboard up, and the Tigers are going to have to really dig in to try to not let that happen to them.
A 2-point game a year ago, a 5-point game 2 years ago. In your eyes, Rocky, what are keys to success tonight for the Tigers?
I think I probably said this the last 2 years when we visited, but controlling the line of scrimmage, I know that sounds like coach talk, but for this Tigers team, I think it truly is going to be a difference maker on both sides of the football, and then hanging on to the football. We win 14-7 last week, tied late fourth quarter, and we get the score, but 2 turnovers, and the first one came in the first quarter, I should say, and Abilene was deep in the Clay Center end of the field, and we had a tremendous hit by 2 guys, Noah Gibson and Isaac Girton on the receiver. The ball pops up in the air, and Ethan Leitzel scoops it up, and we stall that drive and take the football back over. So controlling the line of scrimmage and hanging on to the football, or maybe forcing turnovers, could be as big as holding on to it.
2 teams trying to go 2-0. Should be a real physical game. I think we'll see a good football game tonight here on the campus of Southeast of Saline. With the Tiger info here behind enemy lines, it's the voice of the Clay Center Tigers, Rocky Downey from KCLY in Clay Center. Rocky, thank you so much for your time, and have a good call tonight.
Always great to visit, Devin.
That's Behind Enemy Lines as we take a look at tonight's contest. Clay Center and Southeast of Saline is presented by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Cole and Callie, always a big supporter of Southeast of Saline Trojans. When we come up next, segment number 3, we'll get to sit down with head coach Mitch Gebhart. It's brought to you by Frisbee Construction. It's coming up when we come back. Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by L&L Advisors. Marches on here on KINA.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins!
Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at CopyCo. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, CopyCo also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
141 years and still shining bright. Vernon Jewelers in Salina, the oldest family-owned jewelry store in Kansas, is celebrating with an anniversary sale you won't want to miss. Now through the 15th, enjoy 20% off store-wide and 30% off selected items. Plus, enter to win a stunning 2-carat oval diamond. Vernon Jewelers, 141 years of love, sparkle, and tradition. Come celebrate with us because we're not old, we're just really good at what we do.
Frisbee Construction is a service.
Back here on Countdown to Kickoff, getting ready for Southeast of Saline Trojan football in week number 2 at home for the first time. The Southeast of Saline Trojans will try to protect their home turf against the Clay Center Tigers. Time now to talk with head coach Mitch Gebhardt. It's brought to you by Frisbee Construction. Boy, Coach, a good outing for you last week. We'll look at that game here before we focus on the Tigers here tonight. 60-21. Last Friday night, you go into Minneapolis and you take the 9th game in a row on the varsity level from the Lions. A pretty good game and a pretty good start for you. What do you think overall about this game?
Yeah, and I felt like we started well, especially our defense. I felt like we did a good job with that. And it was definitely a game one. There were some things that we talked about this week and worked on this week, but overall, big picture, offense, defense, special teams. I felt like our kids did a good job.
20-0 at the end of the first quarter. It was a dominant first quarter. Then Minneapolis started putting some things together offensively. They ended up putting together a lengthy drive, went down and scored, and all of a sudden it was a 2-possession game at 20-6. That seemed to light a little bit of a fire, though, under your guys as they came down. And in the last I had 7.5 minutes, scored 32 points to go into halftime. The amazing thing about that stretch, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on it, there were no turnovers in that stretch by Minneapolis. It was all 3-and-out punt, and then your offense on the field.
We were excited there, the way that finished, that half finished. We felt like our offense obviously our defense did a great job to get 3-and-out, make a punt, and then to be able to move the ball like that and kind of get in a hurry up, especially the last 2 drives there. And, that's good for us. It's learning time for hopefully later on in the season when we need to use that. And, for us to execute that well this early on both sides of the ball was exciting for us.
You were able to get to the sidelines on both sides and kind of take the first down out of bounds approach. And as you said, learning point early on game one, it's the first half, but it didn't matter. Situational football, right? And I was thinking back, and that just reminded me of how you came down the field last year in the Beloit game when you had to move the ball and get down the field. And it was just like, man, what a great opportunity early on in the season.
Yeah, it really is. And, you work on that in practice and stuff like that, but to be able to execute that well this early in the year, is something that's outstanding for those kids to be able to do. And I was excited that the kids were conscious of getting out of bounds and understanding that we only had one timeout on that second to last drive, and they got out of bounds. And then the blocks that were made downfield so that we could get out of bounds, and the blocks that were made downfield so we could pick up extra yards. Those are all key points, and when the kids executed, it's fun to watch the film and talk to them about that.
You said you thought your defense got off to a good start and played well in this game. Was there a couple of guys on defense, or just overall happy with the unit in this game?
I really felt like we played well together. You don't know. I mean, obviously we do have a lot of guys back, but you don't know through the practices in the summer and those type of things if that's really for sure. But I really felt like we did a good job. Tristan Swank got his first start as a sophomore, and other than playing high, which he would agree he was, I thought he did a good job executing what we needed to get done.
I was impressed with the flexibility of some of your guys on defense, especially. I was talking during the broadcast about Kenyon Douglas and what I thought about him, and then all of a sudden I see him jump out, and he's out on the sideline as an outside corner from his linebacker spot. And then later on in the game, I see Bryson Lippold do the same thing on the other side. Is that really what makes this defense dangerous, is the flexibility of some of these guys?
Well, it is, and the speed also. The speed at which these guys can play, to be able to bounce guys around and put them in different situations. And again, experience. They understand what we're trying to do offensively and where they need to be, no matter where they line up.
this game has gotten you more ready for the playoffs than probably any other game on the schedule.
Yeah, it's a tough game. Clay Center does an outstanding job. Their coaches do with their kids up there. Their kids always play hard, and any time you play anybody in that league, they're going to play physical. And so, yeah, it's been an outstanding Week 2 game for us the last several years.
Couple of close games the last 2 years, both of them at their place. Now you get to host the Tigers here. What are your keys to success tonight, though, against this Clay Center team? You know they're going to be physical. What do you want to see most from your guys?
Yeah, we got to keep the football. Our offense has got to be efficient, and get first downs. You're getting first downs, you got to keep the ball, and when we have the ball, they don't have it. So, I think that's a huge thing for us tonight. Just make sure that we take care of the football, execute well on offense, play fundamentally sound defense, fly to the football, get a lot of guys to the football. Their kids run the ball hard, and one guy may not bring them down, so we need to get a lot of hats to the football. Play within what we're supposed to do, and then like a lot of nights when teams are close and a special teams play here or there, a big tackle or a nice return or a big punt or something like that can make a huge difference. So we're going to have to be squared up in all facets of the game.
Mitch Gebhardt, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. His guys tonight, a home opener here on the campus of SES, taking on the Clay Center Tigers. Coach, best of luck to you. We'll talk to you at halftime.
All right, thank you, Devin.
Back with more pregame after this on KINA.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
When crop and weather conditions are just right, you need to bale as much as you can, as fast as you can, all while putting up the highest quality product possible. Case IH round balers have the reputation as the hardest working balers in the business to consistently build dense bales with square shoulders that don't sag. No matter the crop or field condition, bale more with Case IH round balers. With easier maintenance and serviceability, you'll spend more time where it counts. In the field, baling hay. Ready to build a better bale? Contact Can Equip in Solomon.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
You're a working man with a job to do.
This is Jeff with Vanderbilt in Salina. We are in high-vis heaven here at Vanderbilt. If you need high-vis safety shirts, vests, or jackets, come see us so we can see you. We also have hard hats in the colors black, white, silver, copper, and lime. We now carry ear protection too. Stay safe out there, working on our streets, roads, and highways with high-vis safety gear from Vanderbilt.
Summer travel can damage and destroy your tires. Commercial Tire Centers encourages you to check for proper inflation. Underinflation or overinflation, along with the extreme Kansas heat, can cause a blowout, damage to your vehicle, and even cause accidents. Make sure your passenger car, truck, RV, and trailer tires are all ready to hit the road when you visit Commercial Tire. We'll even check your spare tire. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner. It's
about to get ugly.
Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports. KINA.
Welcome into Steve Fritz Field. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith as we are ready for week number 2 of the high school football season. It is right here at Steve Fritz Field, a revamped Steve Fritz Field. New artificial turf on the field. Also, Got new press box, new restrooms, new concessions. It's a whole new vibe here at Southeast of Saline. Coin toss getting ready to take place on the field right now. As we wait on that, we will give you the Bennington State Bank scoreboard and games going on tonight on the Salina Post Sports Network. You can watch these games via live video on Salina Post YouTube page. Just go to salinapost.com, find the YouTube link, click it, and you're through free of charge. Abilene at Chapman tonight in the showdown of Dickinson County. Also Sacred Heart on the road for the second consecutive week as they are at Plainville. In the NCAA, Beloit is at Concordia. Republic County is at Ellsworth. Minneapolis is at Lyons. El Saline is at Osborne. Solomon is at Wakefield. And Whitewater Remington is at Bennington. Other area scores that we'll keep an eye on tonight. Arc City in Salina to take on Central. Salina South is in Hutchinson. Also in 2A, we'll always keep an eye on Nemaha Central. They play Silver Lake tonight in what should be a good game. Garden Plains is at Conway Springs, and Osage City is at Care Paravel. Kniper Agency Farmers Insurance, our kickoff conditions, it's hot. We knew that coming through from last week. We had that unseasonably mild game. Should be down just under 80 as we get ready to walk out of the stadium tonight, but right now at kickoff, it's still going to be pretty warm. So it's about 90 degrees right now. The sun's setting, and that will cool things off quite a bit. It is windy, though, coming out of the south, as that wind blowing about 15 miles an hour. We look for that to calm down just a little bit as the game goes on. It's time now to bring in Tyler Smith with our new Image Audio. Keys to success tonight for Southeast of Saline. Tyler, we have two teams here, different classifications, different leagues, both looking to go 2-0.
Devin, we have a main card fight week 2, right? There's no build-up. Like, the build-up is this. This is a main fight. Week 2, you're seeing two teams that want to go after each other. My favorite thing about week 2 games is you have 1 week to prepare, right? You see the biggest progression from great teams happen from week 1 to week 2 because you have time to look at the film. You have time to prepare for your opponent, but you also have time to dissect yourself and self-scout yourself. The teams that have great success in the postseason are teams that make these adjustments. Week 1 to week 2 is huge. You have film to go off of. If tonight's going to be anything like last year, we're in for an absolute treat tonight. This is going to be a good one.
We didn't get down to the field to talk to the officiating crew, but I imagine here early on in this game they might build in some hydration breaks to get some water in these guys as they are getting ready to play on this brand new turf here at Steve Fritz Field. It's a beautiful look. If you want to take a look at it, go to salinapost.com. Live stream video provided by Brian Dennett. Tonight, it's also presented by our friends at Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Of course, Cole and Callie Leister, always great supporters of Southeast of Saline sports. Clay Center will receive as Southeast of Saline won the toss. Malachi Hopkins ready to put the ball on the tee, and we are just about ready to go. And right now, with the sun out, they're going to have to battle some shadows here and there from the new press box that we've never seen before. That's new on this turf here at Southeast of Saline as well. So the environment, while familiar because you actually practice now on this field where they didn't all the time before, there's going to be some different things that they will see and have to get used to as the season goes on.
And, Devin, that's something I think an offensive coordinator always needs to think of, like what bubble screens can you throw, what balls can you throw, like dealing with the sun. I mean, this 7 o'clock sun is going to hit you differently every single week. You have to be able to adjust. You know that good coordinators plan for that. I'm excited to see how each team adjusts to the sun.
Malachi Hopkins with his right hand in the air. We are ready to go. NCAA against the NCKL. Class 2A against Class 3A. And we are just about ready to go. Foot in the ball, and it's in the air. It's going to angle to the left. A long kick by Malachi. It's going to bounce back into the field of play. That's going to be trouble for Clay Center. Look out. Here come the Trojans, and they're going to take him down at the 6-yard line. First one on the arrival was Tyson Keller, and then he got some help coming in late from Josh Watkins. Let's meet your Southeast of Saline Trojan defense, brought to you by Salina Fence Company. Bryson Lippold, Drew Weller, Tristan Swank, Brody Chambers up front. The corners are Caden Berrigan and Malachi Hopkins. Your linebackers, Amarian Hollub, along with Killian Vaughn, Grady Gebhardt, and Kenyon Douglas. The safety is Gannon Jacobson. Those are your defensive starters, brought to you by Salina Fence Company. Back deep for Clay Center. Not ideal starting position here as they'll start at their own 8-yard line. Under center will be Drew Hoffman. It's a flex bone formation, 1 wide receiver, 2 wing backs, and a fullback. Hoffman under center. Now he ducks out, looking over to the sideline with a long stare. Gets a lengthy signal over there from the Clay Center coaching staff. Now he checks his arm. Ducks back under center. Hoffman, a long count, turns. Gives it to a wingback coming through. That's Isaac Gurton. Actually, that's the halfback, sorry. Gurton had a ton of work last week as Bryson Lippold in there on the tackle. Girton, 29 carries, 145 yards last week against Abilene. He was a workhorse, got 4 yards there.
They're going to pound. They're going to pound him the rock, and right now it's all about defensive, just integrity. Like, you got to make sure you're watching your job. Anytime you see a flex bone like this, it doesn't matter where the ball goes, what the play is doing. You've got to follow your job. It takes one person to make a mistake to make a big play happen.
Hoffman back under center, long count. Fake the pitch out. He's going to sneak it back through again. It's going to go to Girton. He's going to find his way out past the 15-yard line. He will get to the 17-yard line and then brought down there as he is just shy 1 yard of a first down. It's 3rd down and 1. Brody Chambers in on the tackle for Southeast of Saline.
And Chambers is going to have a lot of guys coming at him. And anytime you're in that spot that Chambers is at, there's going to be multiple people, all over him. But he did a good job just holding on for dear life and making sure that wasn't a huge gain.
From the 17, 3rd down and 1. It's evident early on, Clay Center is going to use all of the play clock. They're going to make the Southeast of Saline defense stay out on the field with them as they use all the seconds that they can. Play clock at 9. Hoffman will check his wrist coach again as he sneaks it back through, and I don't think they got it. Grady Gebhardt was the first one in there from his linebacker spot, and it's going to be close to the sticks. They are going to move the sticks and give them a gain of 1. So it's 3 Girton carries and 10 yards for Clay Center as they have a first down at the 18-yard line.
And that's what this flex bone offense wants to do. They want to just take as much time off the play clock as they can. They want to just whittle this thing down. They want to have more possessions of Southeast at the end of the night, and that's how they know they can be successful.
From the 18, new set of downs here, 1st down and 10. Hoffman backs out of the center again. They haven't even cleared the 20-yard line yet. And they have already taken the clock down to 10 minutes left here in the first quarter. It's the opening drive. 2 wingbacks again. One of them goes in motion. It's a pitch out that way. It's Ethan Leitzel, and Leitzel will be stuck about the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard that time by Grady Gebhardt. Gebhardt and his linebacker brethren get involved there. Killian Vaughn also coming along with him. Loss of 1.
One's just Grady sniffing that out. He sees that flex bone motion man go there. He knows that that's going to be a toss. He just gets there. It's a great finish from Gebhardt. I mean, how many times do you see that running back? I mean, when you're designing these offenses, you expect to avoid a tackle, miss a tackle. It's not going to happen a lot with Grady Gebhardt.
And if you're going to take this approach, if you're the Tigers, Tyler, you can't have that happen.
You can't. You have to stay ahead of the chains. You have to get in 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7 situations. Keep the chains going. If you get behind the chains, here's what happens. You go to the shotgun.
Hoffman now will go to the shotgun. 2nd down and 11 from the 17-yard line. He is going to have a read option, actually handed it off to the running back, and they will plow ahead with the running back and get about 3 yards on the play. Killian Vaughn there as they unpile on the far side. And it's going to be Girton again, meeting up that time with a Marion Holla. Gain of 3 on the play.
And when you run this type of offense, here's where you get in trouble, right? We got 3rd and long. 3rd and longs are difficult with a flex bone because all of a sudden you kind of have to go into your tricks right here. You have to see what you're going to do.
3rd down and 8. Ball sitting just short of the 20-yard line. Clay Center only threw 6 passes last week against Abilene. They got 34 yards on 2 of 6 passing. One of those, a touchdown. Hoffman's going to roll out. Looking downfield, he's scrambling, can't go anywhere, and he's going to be tackled, and it's going to be a horse collar tackle on Southeast of Saline. Brody Chambers is celebrating as he got there. Along with him was Tristan Swank, but they're going to call a personal foul horse collar on Brody Chambers. And Brody doesn't understand it. He looked at the sideline. Now he's going to go back to the middle of the field. That's a fine line because if your hand is inside of the jersey or inside of the pads, it warrants the flag. But when you're somebody like Brody, you can grab the back of that jersey, and once it's in his hand, it may appear to be a horse collar, but it's not.
And that's just a tough coaching point that, Brody can now see on film, right? Like, here's what you can do. Here's other things you could have done. He had help coming with him. You do not get mad at Brody Chambers for making a hustle play like that.
No.
The Clay Center benefits from that horse collar tackle.
Personal foul will put them from the 15. It was a 5-yard loss and put them out to the 30-yard line. 1st down and 10. Play clock down to 11. They're going to snap it here. Girton straight up the gut. He has stood up. Holy cow. No room there for this Southeast of Saline defense. Just plugging the holes there is Killian Vaughn and Canyon Douglas.
And a great job from Vaughn. Again, Vaughn's key is fullback. So if Vaughn sees fullback come, he's hitting that A-gap hard. He's meeting him. That's going to be his job all night. It doesn't matter if fullback gets the ball or not. You're going to see Killian Vaughn make a lot of tackles on people that don't have the ball, but that's his job. You take care of your job every single play. You're going to be all right against this offense, but it takes all 11 players the entire time to do that.
1 yard on the play, 2nd down and 9. Clay Center has surpassed the 30-yard line. They're wearing white jerseys with black and orange tiger striped sleeves, black pants, black helmet. Here's Hoffman. Try to read option, drop the football, and it's going to be recovered. Bryson Lippold has it at the 26-yard line. The first turnover belongs to Clay Center. Southeast of Saline takes it away. A botch on a read option gives the ball to the Trojans, and all that time, all those plays by Clay Center just got thrown in the trash.
And Devin, that's exactly what doing your job does, right? Like all of a sudden, if you're sound and you're integral with your defensive positioning, you're going to create those opportunities. And right there, the snap, it just didn't go to the fullback. Everything went wrong right there for Clay Center, but you're doing the right things. You're there, and Bryson Lippold, great recovery for Southeast.
Comes the Southeast offense quickly onto the field. We're going to see pace change quickly now with Southeast out there running plays. Up the gut, Grady Gebhardt takes it to the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the first carry of the game for Grady Gebhardt.
And again, just pound in the middle, right? Using your strength. We know the strength is in the trenches for Southeast. There's a lot of strengths right now, but you really want to start the game just implementing what you could do the best, and that's giving the ball to Grady Gebhardt behind that big offensive line.
Football setting at the 21-yard line. Here's a stretch play, right-hand side. Gannon Jacobson has some space. He's inside the 10. A flag will fly on the play as Gannon Jacobson tight-roped the sideline. The flag comes in at the 15-yard line, right about where the first down sticks were, maybe a couple of yards past that, and now we will have to sort that out. Coach Gebhardt told me in pregame just some things last week that he wasn't happy with. Penalties, one of them. They had 7 flags a week ago, and he wants to see that cleaned up. This is going to be a holding penalty against Southeast of Saline.
Yes, but you can see right there, and we talked about this last week. Like, they love to go inside and then bang you on the outside. It's whatever you're going to prep for. And it's the eye in the sky. It's Kent Jacobson that's, telling, Coach Gebhardt, what he sees up there. It's inside, outside. It's such a good relationship between this coaching staff to kind of see what's going on and what they can be successful with.
Spot foul. Gannon had 7 yards before that flag came in. 2nd down and 8. Here's a quick screen out to Caden Berrigan. Katie puts a move on, searching for a first down, makes it to the 16-yard line, and he's tackled down there. Gain of 6 on the play. 9 on the play.
And Devin, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's take what the defense will give you right now. If you're gonna play off as a corner, because they've seen what Gannon can do, they know that he's got a big arm. He'll just take those little dinks and dunks all night.
From the 16, Jacobson rolling out again, has the ball cocked, has to get around a would-be tackler. It's Girton, and Girton got a little chip block there, a little help from Tristan Swank from the offensive line of Southeast of Saline. The ball, though, incomplete as Jacobson appeared like he threw it away there, and now he's going to live to find a 2nd down and 10.
Great job from Jacobson. Don't force a throw right there. Live for the next down, live for 2nd down. It's 1st down. Big deal. It's now 2nd and 10. Throws the ball away, was outside of the pocket, got the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. It's a great job from the senior Gannon Jacobson just to live for another down.
In the Case IH red zone at the 16-yard line, little delay to Grady Gebhardt. He's into the 2nd level, spinning, twisting, turning his way down to the 6-yard line. It's going to be a 10-yard gain, and they're going to say 1st and goal, Southeast of Saline. So 10 yards on Grady Gebhardt's 2nd carry of the day, and the football now sitting at the 6.
And when you talk about getting to the next level, it's Tristan Swank that was just continue to block. He had a defensive back all the way in the end zone, just continue to block on the play.
Heavy 3 wide receivers, left-hand side. They're going to fake it to Grady Gebhardt, sweeping that way. Jacobson's going to keep it in a pile of bodies near the goal line, and they're going to call him down at the 2-yard line for a gain of 4.
And again, that read option right there. You saw Gannon put the ball in his bread basket, just red. Saw that he had some green space and just went. It's a great gain for Southeast.
Still scoreless, 5:52 left to go. Southeast of Saline working after a Clay Center turnover. Here's the give to Grady Gebhardt. Tried to counter his way out of it, but he is surrounded by Tigers and will get no gain on the play. He scratched and clawed to get his way back to the line of scrimmage, where it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 2.
And you got to love seeing that from Clay Center. Like, sold out, right? It was 2nd and goal on that play from the 2. They're bringing everybody. And here's where I love to see what Southeast is going to do next. We saw that there's been many plays just rammed down the throat. Wouldn't be surprised to see something on the perimeter, test their speed, because we know how great and fast Southeast is.
Pistol formation. Here comes Kenyon Douglas. They fake it to him, give it to Grady Gebhardt. Grady looking for that end zone, and he cannot quite get there. He's inside of the 1-yard line, where it's going to be 4th and goal and less than a yard. So Grady stuck his nose in there, but Clay Center able to plug that hole up. They're big up there in the middle. 240 over the nose is Carter Beswick for the Tigers.
Yeah, and a good job from, again, Clay Center just digging their heels in right now on the goal line. Let's get funky here.
Gebhardt, left hip of Jacobson. Jacobson, a couple of hard counts. Now the Trojans turn around. They look to their sideline. Now they'll move to the pistol. Gebhardt directly behind Jacobson. Here's a pitch out, left-hand side. Grady in the crease, runs over a Tiger at the goal line and scores. Southeast of Saline has the first touchdown on the brand new field here at Steve Fritz Field, and it's a Grady Gebhardt touchdown from 1 yard away.
And how fitting is it that it's Grady Gebhardt? I mean, this young man has been here. He's grown up at this field. He's grown up at this stadium. He's seen so many things. What a great way to break this field in right here. Great job from Grady Gebhardt. Great play call. Get to the outside. Haven't been able to pound the ball inside yet. As you see, traditional formation for the two-point conversion. We'll see what Southeast has dialed up.
Jacobson this time will put Douglas in motion. He'll give Canyon the ball. Now Canyon has a free pass into the end zone. He goes ahead and gets a Tiger anyway as he walks it in a two-point conversion for Southeast of Saline. Our first break comes with 4:31 left to go in the first quarter. Southeast of Saline takes advantage of a Clay Center turnover, and they lead it 8-0 right here on KINA.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Welcome back to the campus of Southeast of Saline. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith will remind you Southeast of Saline football tonight brought to you by Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing. If you think your home or business sustained hail damage in the last round of storms, call Bryson Flax. He'll give you a free estimate and get you the best crew available on the job. He's honest and he's a Trojan. Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing. 8-0 Southeast of Saline. It was a Grady Gebhardt 1 yard touchdown run. That scoring recap brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Mallory Clinic Sports Medicine. Visit Dr. Westbrook in his sports injury walk-in clinic every Monday and Tuesday mornings. Malachi Hopkins with his hand in the air, ready to go again here for Southeast of Saline. The Trojans tonight wearing their purple tops and white pants with that purple Trojan helmet. Hopkins' kick hangs in the air, taken back at the 7-yard line. Here come the Tigers on the return, and they will bring it back to the 25 and to about the 27-yard line. On the return that time for the Tigers, junior Ethan Leitzel.
Again, we're seeing this special teams game. We saw Minneapolis have a big return last week. Now you're seeing, you know, this is how you improve from week 1 to week 2. You're seeing the special teams coverage much better than it was last week.
Tyson Keller in on the tackle that time for Southeast of Saline. First down and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Tigers will send a man in motion in this flex bone. Put it in the belly this time of Isaac Girton. He is stabbed from behind. Coming in that time was Canyon Douglas and Gannon Jacobson from their respective sides. Still a gain of 4, though, for Isaac Girton.
And again, this is what this Clay Center offense wants to do. Like, it's not going to look any different. Doesn't matter if they're up big or down big. They're just going to continue to pound the ball up the middle, and they'll try to get to the outside every once in a while. But they're very sound. They're going to continue to do this, try to break you down play by play.
Second down and 6. Ball setting at the 31. Call it 2nd and 7. One receiver to the left-hand side. That's Aiden Gordon. They'll give it in the belly of Girton once again, and Isaac Girton will carry the pile for a gain of about 3. Third down and 4 coming up.
And you're just seeing a mess in the trenches, and that's exactly what Coach Trenton Douglas wants from his defensive lineman. He wants them to make a mess. You make a mess, you let your second level, you let your linebackers come in, clean everything else up, and that's what's happening. As long as those linemen can't get to the second level, that's exactly what you want happening from the defensive side.
Girton and Hoffman at quarterback, both a load. Girton's 205. Hoffman is 200 pounds. Third down and 4 from the 34-yard line. Hoffman taking his time here, checking the wrist coach for a play. Takes the snap. Little read option play. Faked it to Girton. He'll keep it in a 4th down coming up. Hoffman got across the 35 to about the 37-yard line on a gain of 3, but he's still short.
And here's one of those tricky situations. We're seeing Clay Center. They're thinking there's no second thought right here. They're looking to go for it.
From the 36-yard line. Jaron Brumfield went in motion that time. Now he's going to come back and go back to his right wing back spot. Just one wide receiver here. Quarterback sneak straight up the middle, and looks like Clay Center is going to move the pile for a first down. They're going to go ahead and signal it up. It's a gain of 2 that time for Drew Hoffman. 3 carries, now back to even. No yards gained on the night.
Yeah, and you saw right there, Grady Gebhardt's, he's trying to time everything up. He knows what's going on. He was looking over the Clay Center coaching staff. He knew when the snap was going to happen, tried to get there, just couldn't create, enough of a push to keep that ball, going to Southeast way.
1st and 10 from the 39. This is the furthest away from their own goal line that Clay Center has been here so far on their second drive of the night. Quarterback keeper. Kenyon Douglas there to stop it. Boy, Kenyon came in and provided the most resistance he could, and then Brody Chambers came in and finished him off. No gain on the play.
And Devin, you can just chop that up. That's textbook right there from Douglas. Just did a great job. Led correctly with the correct foot. Just comes in there. Great tackle. 0 gain for Clay Center. It's a great job from Mr. Douglas.
Kenyon led the team in tackles a year ago. Had 109 tackles. 18 of them were for loss. 2nd down and 10 here. Play clock again, dwindling down, about 10 seconds left. 2 wide receivers this time. A wingback goes in motion. Hoffman will play it on the play action. Now he's loose into the secondary. He's going to be close to a first down. Appears to be short, but it will be 3rd down and about 1 yard. Oh, no, they're going to give him the first down. Wow.
Yeah, extremely favorable spot for Clay Center, and they'll take it right now. They'll take anything they can. But again, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see some misdirection. Everything from the flex bone is so tight with that formation. They're going to try to draw you offside early on. They're going to look. They're going to check. They're going to keep you sound defensively.
10 yards for Drew Hoffman. Puts the ball out towards midfield at the 49-yard line. New set of downs there. 1st down and 10. They go back to the fullback. It's Girton, and he will be right at midfield after gaining 1 yard.
Right there, it's Chambers. It's Chambers in the middle just clogging everything up. Chambers and his crew. You're seeing a bunch. You're seeing Chambers. You're also seeing Elijah Kerr. I mean, they're collapsing. They're squeezing. They're making that so tight that A gap is non-existent with what they're doing right now.
Last minute of the first quarter already. Clay Center looking around their formation. Clock down to 42. 8-0 southeast of Saline. Drew Hoffman again looking over his formation. Checking the wrist coach again for a 2nd down and 9 from midfield. Play clock down to 4. Hoffman sprints out, left-hand side, takes on a southeast of Saline player, and it's Killian Vaughn, and Vaughn not that guy on that play. He limits it to 1 yard on the play.
And that's a big-time play from Vaughn, right? Like, you're trying to figure out which way you could go, which weak link you can find to run that quarterback sweep right there. Vaughn's not going to let that happen. There were no leading blockers. Great job from Vaughn.
Now looks like it'll be our last play of the first quarter. So at the end of 1, as these two Titans collide here, southeast of Saline with the advantage. They lead Clay Center 8-0. We're back with more Trojan football. It's presented by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms right here on KINA.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
At Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, we are available when you need us most. I'm Dr. Andrew Westbrook, and I am the sports medicine physician at Maury Clinic. I see patients of all ages and help them come back stronger than ever. From broken bones to joint pain, my team and I are committed to help you do more. For those with sports injuries, come see us at our sports medicine walk-in clinic Monday and Thursday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. Prevent, recover, and strengthen so you can perform your best. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Make your move with confidence.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
8-0 our score. Southeast of Saline leading Clay Center. Trojan football brought to you by Southeast of Saline's Booster Club, bringing you live coverage to showcase exceptional student activities and build that purple power. It is always a great day to be a Trojan. Also, Stardust Trophy, Downtown Salina, Suburban Appliance, and Mary Maids. Clay Center, 3rd down and 8 from the southeast of Saline 49-yard line. Drew Hoffman rolls out, wants to pass, has a guy, it's low, and he cannot make the catch. That'll be 4th and long now, coming up for the Tigers after their first pass attempt of the night.
Hoffman's pass intended for number 3, Caden Good. Incomplete on the play.
Kenyon Douglas, and they're on coverage middle of the field for southeast of Saline, it appeared. So Clay Center will give the look here, Tyler, of a punt formation as Isaac Girton will step back inside his own 40-yard line.
Well, and Devin, who else other than Kenyon Douglas? You know, we've talked about what he does both ways, and a lot of things that aren't going to show up on a stat sheet, but Kenyon Douglas is just always in the right spot. Great job right there. Wasn't fooled by that quarterback rollout. Great positioning. Great sound defensive play from Douglas.
Wind will be at the back of Girton.
Ooh.
And we have movement up front. Nope, timeout. Clay Center wants a timeout. They want to talk about it. Grady Gebhardt with a 1-yard touchdown run on 4th down is our only score so far in this game. As we take a moment here with both teams going to their respective sidelines, it also lets us remind you, don't forget to check out Salina Post Facebook page and also S Post Sports on X or Twitter. After the game, you can see video highlights from all around the area, and that's proudly presented by Billings Group. Also, the Southeast of Saline Booster Bash coming up in October. You want to be a part of that. As I understand, there is some room available, but it is becoming limited very, very quickly. So don't wait. Get on Facebook, get some more information about Southeast of Saline's Booster Bash with the Southeast of Saline Booster Club. That is coming up very, very quick next month.
And Devin, this is fun right now. So here's what just happened. Before the timeout, the ball was snapped, and it snapped to the up back. It looked like there's a little fake, little trickery going on from Clay Center. You're expecting that anyway if you're Southeast of Saline and Coach Mitch Gebhardt, but now you're really expecting it, all right? So the one thing you'll allow to happen is a big punt, but you're not going to allow a 4th and 8 conversion right here if you're Southeast of Saline. As you see now, Jacobson's, no one's back deep for the punt. They're just here playing defense.
4th down and 8 for Clay Center. Girton takes the snap. He will put his foot into it. It's a good punt. Has a lot of juice behind it, and it's going to go ahead and roll into the end zone. And Southeast of Saline played that well as they will bring it out and have the football at the 20-yard line. So that drive for Clay Center gets about 23 yards and then stalls out at midfield. Now Southeast of Saline will have their second possession of the game, first possession of the second quarter. I want to remind you, the Scoreboard Show coming up tonight, 10 until 11 o'clock, brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital. Scores and game wraps from across the state of Kansas. Eric Peterson will take you around the state on a tour and get you all updated on week number 2. That's from 10 until 11 o'clock every Friday night on KINA.
And if you're Coach Mark Henry in Clay Center right now, you'll play this field position game. You want to now test Southeast Saline. You rely on your defense. You don't run a flex punt without a great defense, so you want to see what they can do.
Jacobson rolling out left, ball around his hip. Now he's going to square his shoulders and then step out of bounds after taking a yard, maybe 2. Here's our first check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard at the end of 1. El Saline playing Osborne tonight, and it's the Cardinals out in front early on against Osborne, 8-0, El Saline.
And, Devin, it's something we're going to continue to talk about, but the maturation of Gannon Jacobson, like right there, we'll just take a 1-yard gain. We'll slide out of bounds. We won't take a hit. We'll live for 2nd down. 2nd and 9, we'll just go to work.
Cluster of 3 receivers to the right-hand side. They fake the screen. Jacobson's going to take off and run the other way. He has space. 30, 35, tripped up there, and then rolling out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. We'll see where they spot him, but Jacobson had some space as they overloaded the right-hand side, and then Jacobson went away from that and went back left. They're going to spot him out of bounds at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 17.
And again, you saw right there, just a nice little pump fake. Everything's on film. We talked about that week 1 to week 2. Pump fake and then run. Great job.
Jacobson rolling out right, has a receiver down the field. Kenyon Douglas at the 38, to the 30, to the 20, down the sideline. He'll stay in bounds and a touchdown. Southeast of Saline on 1st down to Kenyon Douglas. 62 yards from Jacobson.
And everything sets up something else, right? We just saw the exact same formation. We saw a little pump, and we saw Jacobson go the other way. On that one, no pump needed, just rolls out. Jacobson finds Douglas, and when Douglas has the ball in his hands, you're not going to catch him. Great catch and run from Kenyon Douglas.
11:24 in the second quarter.
Oh, they said he stood out of bounds. They said he stepped out of bounds.
They did, okay. I didn't think he did.
I didn't see it on this newly turf field.
17-yard line now. Still back in the Case IH red zone, though. It's a gain of 45. Here's play action. Fake to Gebhardt. Jacobson's rolling out. He's going to wait on Lippold to spring open, and it goes off the fingertips. Boy, he had him, but it went off the fingertips that time of Bryson Lippold. 2 of 4 passing so far.
I really like that creativity, though, right? You almost saw when Jacobson rolled out, it was just kind of directing traffic. Points to Lippold where to go, just barely misses him. I love that. I love when you just open the reins up. You let players play, and right there, Jacobson almost made a great play to Lippold.
Marion Hollub in motion this time. They're going to fake it to him. Jacobson will keep it, and he'll stumble down inside of the 15-yard line to the 14-yard line on a gain of 3, and that will bring up 3rd down and 7.
And when you talk about defenses being fundamentally sound, you have to be fundamentally sound if you're Clay Center because there's so much motion. There's so many things going on. But in all honesty, the Southeast Saline playbook isn't massive. They're just giving you so many, smokes and mirrors. And right there, Clay Center did a great job just pounding the inside, taking away that inside run.
Trojans break the huddle here. Big 3rd down. It's a 3rd down and 7. Ball sitting at the 14-yard line. Jacobson, couple of fakes. Nope, he gave it to Gebhardt. Grady sidesteps a tackler, gets inside the 5, and he's ran out of bounds just about the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for Southeast of Saline as they move the chains.
Devin, anytime you have an offensive lineman out there doing work, Drew Weller just creating a wall, a single wall by himself, and it was a great job from Gebhardt just riding that wall. That's a gain from Gebhardt. Gebhardt's going to get the name call, he's going to get the numbers for his stats, but it was Drew Weller just leading the way.
Gain of 8. Moves the ball to the 6-yard line where it's 1st and goal for Southeast of Saline. Approaching the 10-minute mark of the first half. Here's Gebhardt. It's a race to the left-hand side. He's going to slam on the brakes, try to cut back, bounces off Isaac Girton, and Gebhardt takes it down to the 1-yard line on a gain of 5.
And when Gebhardt gets to the outside, he has no numbers. But just Gebhardt being Gebhardt just continues to work himself down. Gets a positive play out of for Southeast, and now you got 2nd and goal from the 1.5.
It's just outside of the 1, it looks like. Ball sitting with the nose of it right about the 1-yard line.
And it's just his will. Like, he refuses to go down. It's going to take multiple people to bring Grady Gebhardt down.
Gebhardt will line up directly behind Jacobson this time in the pistol formation. Movement for Clay Centers. They slide on that defensive line. They're going to give it to Grady Gebhardt. He's going to make his way back in between the hashes and then stop there. Might have lost a yard on that play as Southeast of Saline goes backwards a little bit there on 2nd down and goal. That'll bring up 3rd down and goal now and move them back to the 3.
Yeah, and a great job right there from Girton. And the linebacker just flies into the A-gap, just make sure that play doesn't go anywhere. But I don't think Coach Gebhardt's worried right now. He likes to see his team's grit.
Here's Jacobson, play action to Gebhardt. Roll out to the right. He's going to throw it to Lippold, and Bryson's going to be tangled down at the 1-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down and 1 once again for Southeast of Saline after the gain of 2. Jacobson to Lippold.
Again, good defense from Clay Center. Fundamentally sound on the inside. She could give that option out as Jacobson rolls out. Great coverage on the outside. 4th and 1. Every trick in his bag. Let's see what Coach Gebhardt has dialed up for this 4th and goal from the 1.
It's like 3 wide receivers on the left-hand side as they're going to empty the backfield. 2 on the right. They have a total of 5 wide receivers on a 4th and goal from the 1. Jacobson will take the snap here from Jennings. He fakes it to Gebhardt, puts his hat down, and he's going to be drugged down from behind. A loss of a yard or 2 on the play, and Southeast of Saline comes away empty. They lost 2 yards on that play, and they are unable to convert on that scoring drive. They went 79 yards but could not get 80 on that play.
Devin, it was Gavin Riles that just destroyed that from Clay Center. He didn't, as the defensive lineman, as the down lineman, he didn't care about the fake. His job was to take care of his gap. He did a great job, collapsed that, made the tackle on Jacobson. Disappointing for Southeast. Drive the ball, get it down to a 4th and goal situation. You got to convert there, but now Clay Center's in a tough situation.
Backed up to the 2-yard line are the Tigers. They're going to try to bring the fullback through. Maybe got a yard on the play as they put it in the belly of Isaac Girton that time. Old Mr. Reliable. Last year, Girton, he's the best returning starter that Clay Center has on offense. He had 552 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. He's one of the 2 returning starters in that Clay Center skill set. Got a yard on that play.
And we talk about all the time, Clay Center is one of these teams that just reloads. I mean, they're going to be fast, physical, and well-coached. And you see that year in and year out. They're in a tough tough league, and year in and year out there, you're in the top half of that league.
They're going to go back to Girton this time. He had to drag his foot out of the grasp of one of the Southeast Trojans. He's going to come out past the 10-yard line and then fall ahead to the 12, and that will be a gain of 9 on the play and a first down, a crucial first down for Clay Center as they bring it out away from the goal line there and have a little bit of space to operate now.
Yeah, how big is that just to get out of the shadows of your own goalposts? I mean, once you get out of here, now you can open your playbook a little bit. You don't have to worry about any play-action fakes. You can kind of do some things if you're Coach Mark Henry and Clay Center.
First down and 10, ball sitting at their own 13-yard line. Clay Center again taking their time. They're always going to take this play clock down around 10, maybe even inside 10. Right now it's at 8. Drew Hoffman under center. Turn, he's going to pitch to the outside. A missed tackle by Southeast of Saline and about a 10-yard gain that time from Ethan Leitzel. Leitzel got out on the edge, was able to slip a tackle, and got out close to the first down sticks that time. They're going to say it's a gain of 9.
You got to the outside. You can miss one tackle. You can't miss 2 tackles right there. But it was Caden Berrigan that comes in, makes sure that tackle's made to create that second and short situation. This offense, if you're sound defensively, you can't miss more than 2 tackles. You can miss 1, but you can't miss 2 or else it's going to go big.
Second down and 1 from their own 22. Keep in mind, this is a Tiger team that was in a slugfest just like this with Abilene last week. They scored with a minute and a half left to win that game 14-7. This game looks like it might be shaping up to be about the same here early on. We're in the middle of the second quarter. Southeast of Saline leads at 8-0. Here's a first down for the Tigers. As they take it out, it's Girton again. He'll take it out to the 30-yard line on a gain of 8. 11 carries already for Isaac Girton, 39 yards. Keep it tuned right here to halftime. We will have comments from Mitch Gebhardt before he goes to the locker room. And then we will have a Southeast of Saline volleyball feature with head coach Shandy Olson. That's all coming up here at the break. Brought to you by Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories at halftime. Still 5:52 left to go here in the first half. Southeast of Saline leading 8-0. Clay Center with a first down and 10 at their own 30-yard line. One receiver to the left-hand side. Again, they're going to put it right in the belly of Girton. And he's going to move the pile ahead for no gain on the play.
And again, it's just about making sure Clay Center isn't making positive plays. 2nd and 10 isn't a Clay Center positive play, right? 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, they can still work. They're looking for 3 yards a clip. If they get a 4th and 3, they're going to go for it. You got to keep them behind the chains if you're Southeast.
Tristan Swank checks out. Elijah Kerr checks in for Southeast. Trojans trying to keep bodies fresh out there. It is hot, but this is a slow-paced game. This is the equivalent of playing Republic County in basketball. Here's the give to the right-hand side. Gebhardt up top. Looks like it's going to be Killian Vaughn down low. And a gain that time of about 3 brings up 3rd down and 7.
And again, it's how sound Vaughn and Gebhardt continue to be, right? Again, if you can't get that offensive line to that second level and you let your linebackers tee off, you're going to be all right. 3rd and long right here, Southeast. It's got to make sure they make this a 4th and long to get an opportunity for the ball back.
Tigers gave the appearance they were going to go hurry up there, but then they got back to the line of scrimmage, and now they're staring back over the sideline. They have been killing Southeast in time of possession here. Girton up the middle to the 35, and that is it. It's going to be 4th down and 5.
And there were a slew of Trojans there. You see Kerr. Sorry, you don't see Kerr. It was Weller. Weller's just holding on. It was Weller. It was Chambers. Again, that defensive line is just they're crushing everything. They're squeezing. They're making it really difficult from the inside.
4th and 5. You want to be on your toes here if you're Southeast of Saline. They might be trying to draw you off sides. I don't see anywhere in the world that they would be going for this. Back at their own 35-yard line, and now a shift change as new Tigers come in and they line up in punt formation. Gannon Jacobson now will drop deep. For Southeast of Saline, Malachi Hopkins goes to an unattended gunner that could turn into a wide receiver. So heads-up play there by Malachi as Clay Center will punt this away for the second time tonight. Spiraling quick kick there for Girton. Jacobson takes it on the bounce at the 21. Looking for a block, gets one from Hawkins to the 25 to the 30, and Gannon just going to coast it out of bounds at the 34-yard line. A return of 12 on the play, and Southeast of Saline will come out here, and they will take over with just their 3rd possession of the first half. They lead at 8-0. They have 3:25 and all timeouts left to work with here.
Yeah, this defense from Southeast is keeping them in the ballgame right now. If you're Clay Center and you're Coach Mark Henry, you're loving everything's going. The time of possession, you're just destroying Southeast. And you keep the offense off the field, obviously you have more chance to win this game. Just they're running that play clock and that game clock down. Just long possessions, making sure everything's really, really difficult for Southeast. You got to score quick, but now at 3:25, they got some time.
You would love to score here because you get the ball to start second half if you're the Trojans, right?
100%.
Quick screen out to Marion Holub. Catches it with his hands out in front, puts a move on. He's able to get maybe 2 on the play. An excellent tackle out there on the edge by Ethan Leitzel. Boy, that was a good tackle.
Yeah, we're seeing that from Clay Center. It's first person on contacts making that tackle, and there's 11 swarming heads, black helmets right there from Clay Center. You got to love that if you're Coach Mark Henry, and that's how you slow the Southeast offense down. You've got to make sure there's multiple tackles because there's so many people that can break a tackle with this offense.
That play might still be going on if it wasn't for Ethan Leitzel on that tackle there. Was able to get enough of Holub's shoelaces. Now 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Jacobson empty in the backfield. Here's the screen play to Caden Berrigan, and it's low and incomplete. Caden went down to get it, but that ball was already taking a nosedive into the turf, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 9 for Southeast of Saline.
And you don't know if it's intentional or not, but I hate it when receivers catch a ball with their knee on the ground. Right there, Berrigan had a chance to maybe catch the ball or not catch the ball. Don't catch that football. If you catch that football with your knee on the ground, you're down immediately. That would have been a loss for Southeast. Berrigan did a good job, just pulled his hands up. Poorly thrown ball from Jacobson. Don't want to put your hands on that football right there.
4 of 7 throwing the football so far for Gannon Jacobson. He's going to spread him out again. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Empty backfield for Gannon. 3rd down and 9. Gannon looking, clean pocket. Good job up front by the offensive line. He's going to let one fly. It's caught by Caden Berrigan at the 50, and then he is tackled immediately, but the first down is taken by Caden Berrigan. Aiden Gordon in on the tackle. 15-yard gain for Southeast.
And Devin, that's such a tough throw. You got to throw it over the linebacker, make sure you fit it in that window. Jacobson did a great job, got time to set his feet. Great job from the offensive line, giving him time, no pressure. Fantastic throw from Jacobson.
1st and 10 from the 48. Grady Gebhardt went blasting into a hole, removed the first Tiger, but then his teammates showed up, and they tackled Grady there for a gain of maybe a half a yard.
Yeah, it was. The Clay Center was all over that play right there. Just a great job. Extremely physical, as we'd expect from Clay Center. Just a fantastic swarm of Tigers.
2nd down and 10. Jacobson rolling out. Gebhardt there to block. They're going to slip the screen back the other way. Here's Bryson Lippold at the 50, 45. Big block there. And Bryson Lippold on the way to the 30. Still punishing Tigers as he goes out of bounds. And a big, big block coming back against the grain by Tristan Swank out there on the edge. Holy cow, that was a good block. That was able to spring Lippold all the way down to the 26-yard line. Another completion there for Jacobson. That one goes of 22 yards. And now we're going to have flags that will stop this play. Bryson Lippold, his 2nd catch of the night on that play. False start here against Southeast of Saline. So that'll back him up to the 31-yard line. Tyler is on his way to the Salina Ortho sidelines as he will go down and get comments from head coach Mitch Gebhardt before he goes to the locker room. 1:48 left to go here in the first half. Remember, volleyball coach Shandy Olson coming up at halftime as well. Empty backfield for Gannon Jacobson. 1st and 15, ball sitting at the 31. Gannon wants to roll out to the right. Gets the ball ready to fly. Berrigan with a beautiful catch over the shoulder. Shakes one Tiger, and he gets out of bounds at the 11-yard line. A gain of 20 on the play. Jacobson to Berrigan.
And Devin, it's the athleticism for Berrigan right there. Just created that space. Nice little move early on. Got the defensive back from Clay Center away. Great catch. Great yak afterwards. Great play from Southeast Saline.
From the 12-yard line, 1st down and 10, they stay with 5 wide. Now Gebhardt will go in motion. They'll sneak it to Grady on the fake. Jacobson will keep it, and he's dancing into the end zone. Gannon Jacobson holding the ball out in front, scraping the pylon to the ground, and a touchdown for Southeast of Saline. He's known as the Cannon, but that time he is able to step on the accelerator and run it in from 12 yards out.
Devin, it's his pace, right? Like he goes slow to fast so quick. You don't just go fast. You don't just press on your A button if you're playing old school Sega or PlayStation or anything like that. It's his ability to set up that block by setting up his pace. Great finish from Jacobson to get in the end zone.
What a carry that time by Gannon Jacobson, 12 yards. Now going for two. Jacobson, back of the end zone, wide open, KB. Caden Berrigan, a 2-point conversion in southeast of Saline, 16-0. They haven't had the ball often, but when they do, they have made the most of it, and we'll step away and take a 30-second timeout. 16-0 Trojans right here on KINA.
In the trenches and on the ground, that's where the game is won. Isaacson Truck Line is a proud supporter of the southeast of Saline Trojans. For local and long-haul service of freight and livestock, call Isaacson Truck Line, reminding you to have a safe Friday night on the roads. Wreak havoc, Trojans.
Obituaries and funeral announcements are available free of charge on the post. This community service is provided in part by Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, formerly Roselawn. Higher Scott Mortuary and Cremations, celebrating life, embracing legacy.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Good scoring drive, just what the doctor ordered there for southeast of Saline. They go 67 yards on that drive. They're able to get the ball down into the end zone. It's Gannon Jacobson from 12 yards away as he is able to coast it in on the right-hand corner. That scoring recap brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Again, his walk-in clinic is open Mondays and Thursday mornings. If you have an activity or a sports injury that ails you, go see Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Malachi Hopkins getting ready to put the ball in the air as they will return it to the Tigers with 76 seconds left to go here in this half.
And Devin, here's where things get interesting. We talked about this earlier. When you're getting the ball coming out in the second half, you get a couple stops right here. You have all three timeouts. I'm interested to see, how this drive is handled by both teams.
High kick, angling towards the sideline. Clay Center's going to touch it and drop it out of bounds. Boy, Tyler, that was right in front of you. And not really a horrible mistake because they do have decent field position. They're not buried inside the 20, but no return there.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, we talk about coaching points. It's week 2. That's a ball. If you let that ball go out of bounds, it's clearly coming out of bounds. You get the ball. You're not going to get it right here on the 23. You're going to get that ball at the 40. That's a ball that you have to let drop out of bounds, let it go. You got to take advantage, especially with the offense stalling right now if you're Clay Center.
75 seconds left to go here in the first half. Clay Center has 2 timeouts remaining. Again, this is not a high-octane, high-power offense capable of going down the field and picking up all these yards, 77 of them in 75 seconds. They're just not. But it'll be interesting to see what they dial up here. Drew Hoffman ducks under center. He's going to send a man in motion. It's a pitch out right-hand side. And here's a run, a decent run that time by the Tigers. Coming through the hole that time is Jaron Brumfield, one of the juniors in this backfield for Clay Center. It's a gain of 4. Clay Center back to the line of scrimmage quickly. We're inside 1 minute left to go. Little read option play. Hoffman's going to keep it. Drew Hoffman in the second level has a first down, looking for the sidelines, and he's going to be hit out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at about the 41. So a big carry there of 14 yards by Drew Hoffman. So a first down for Clay Center. They move the ball out to the 41. They're already back at the line of scrimmage. 45.2 seconds left to go.
And at some point, you got to expect something to be popped off the top. Right now, Coach Patach is talking to his DBs. You got to expect something big. With 45 seconds left, they're not just going to continue to run the ball down the field. There's going to be a play action at some point.
Yeah, they have not been active tonight at all, those DBs in the passing game. Here is Hoffman, wants to pass. There's a ball up there, a receiver down the sideline. Appeared to have a step on Lippold, but he is overthrown, incomplete. Drew Hoffman now 0 of 2 in the passing game. That will stop the clock with 39 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Second down and 10 on the way.
And, Devin, that's a great ball from Hoffman, but it's one of those things. If you don't throw the ball a lot, you're not great at throwing the ball a lot, right? Like, he had a wide open receiver stringing on the sideline. You saw a nice wheel from the fullback, from that halfback right there, from that flex bone back. But when you don't do it a lot, it's not something you work on a lot. It's a tough play.
Second down and 10. Here's a man in motion. Hoffman's going to keep it, but he is tripped up. Ball on the turf, maybe, Tyler. I'll let you take it here and see what you're seeing field level.
Immediately, official said that the ball carrier was down right there. They were on it very, very quickly. Now third down. But as you're seeing, it was the first 2 plays that kind of Clay Center ran that kind of held Southeast off of calling timeouts. I think they're happy going into the halftime break up 16-0, getting the ball back when they come out.
And that clock has continued to run since the fumble 12 seconds left. It's third down. A little misdirection play here. Clay Center's going to bring it out to the 48-yard line on the carry. And that may do it. It's fourth down. They're out to the 48, and that will do it as you hear the scoreboard go off in the background. So, Southeast of Saline only had 3 offensive drives. 2 of them ended up in 8 points. 1 of them stalled out at the 1-yard line. They lead at 16-0 coming in to halftime. We're at the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. When we come back, we will have comments from Shandy Olson. We'll talk Southeast of Saline volleyball. We'll also take a check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard and get you all caught up on first half stats presented by the Bank of Teskett. Right now, we're on the Salina Ortho sideline awaiting the arrival of Mitch Gebhardt. Right now, he's talking things over with Trent Douglas and also Chance Potocik, Todd Baird, also in that group as well, as they are having conversations before going into the locker room here at the break. 16-0, Southeast of Saline. Let's go down on the Salina Ortho sideline here. Mitch Gebhardt will join Tyler Smith. It's brought to you by Frisbee Construction.
Coach Gebhardt, up 16-0. You knew it was going to be a fast, physical, well-coached team that you're playing against right now. Talk us through what your defense has done to keep this offense to 0 points.
Well, I think we've done a good job of playing fundamentally sound and getting to where we need to be. Obviously, they're like you just said, well-coached football team that's physical and everything else. So have a 16-0 lead at halftime is good.
I know it's frustrating to not score on that 4th and goal opportunity from the 1, but you've scored 2 of your 3 possessions. What are you going to do to ignite the offense in the second half?
Well, we get the ball to start second half. That's a real positive. We're just going to need to clean a few things up front, and I think we'll be all right and be able to move the ball.
Sounds great, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Thank you, sir.
Mitch Gebhardt on the sidelines along with Tyler Smith. Brought to you by Frisbee Construction. We are at halftime. The Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. When we come back, we'll have Shandy Olson. We'll talk Southeast of Saline volleyball with the first-year head coach. It's all coming up when we come back here at halftime. Brought to you by Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories. 16-0, Southeast of Saline leading Clay Center right here on KINA.
It's third down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for real property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at salinahomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
New Image is offering ceramic tint. If you are sending your child off to school or your wife on a road trip, ceramic tint offers heat rejection up to 90%, privacy in a college town or in the city, and it helps keep wear down on the AC system, making the car easier to cool down. Never worry about you or your kid locking their keys in the car. With Drone Mobile, you can unlock their car for them from anywhere. Vehicle breakdown in an unknown area, GPS locating helps roadside services find your loved one quickly with the ability to send the vehicle location directly to the rescue squad. New Image Audio, your official tinting establishment for over 14 years, located at 340 South Broadway in Salina. Phone calls are welcome.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gebhardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Teskett goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here on the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report, I'm Tyler Henry, and it's time now for us to chat with head volleyball coach Shandy Olson for our conversation presented by Winnell Garrettson at salinahomes.com. Your coaching journey, I was curious, how did you come into the head volleyball role at Southeast of Saline, and what was kind of your coaching journey leading up to this?
Sure. Volleyball has been like a huge love of mine since I was younger. And I've always had the dream of being a coach. And last year, the opportunity came up for me to be the junior high assistant coach out here at Southeast of Saline. Had a great time with those girls. Enjoyed that being my first coaching position. And then the head coaching position came up for the high school team this past summer. And I knew if I didn't take that opportunity now, it may never come up again. I have an 8th grade daughter who will be up in high school next year, so I'm excited.
Well, and how great is it to be a part of, something even bigger here at Southeast of Saline? Obviously, a lot of winning culture, but also a lot of coaches that really just love and appreciate each other.
Absolutely. Yep, it is the culture out here all the way around, the families, the students, the staff, the coaching staff. I mean, it's a blessing to be involved in the athletics out here at Southeast of Saline. And the girls that I've been working with have been amazing. So I'm really excited about building up this program.
Speaking of which, what are kind of your thoughts on just where the volleyball culture is here at Southeast of Saline as you headed into this season?
So, it's kind of overwhelming coming in as a new coach into a program. But these girls have been nothing but amazing. They are huge in teamwork. They put a lot of hard work in on and off the court. We spent a lot of time in the gym this past summer, in the weight room. So literally they've all really bought into what I'm trying to bring to this program.
Well, and speaking of off the court, this is one of my favorite questions for coaches. Taking volleyball out of the equation, what is your favorite thing about just getting to work with this specific group of kids?
These girls, they're just all great individuals. They're all hard workers. They're all great students. And so many, being in a school that's K through 12, there's so many of the younger kids who really look up, especially to this great group of girls I have.
When you take a look at the program, you mentioned trying to build things up here. One of the interesting things about Southeast Volleyball, they've always had success, but, looking at a different group of coaches seemingly every year for the past several years, what has that been like from a challenge standpoint, and how have you seen the team kind of adapt to that?
So, I came into practice the first day, not really knowing what the atmosphere was going to be like, how the girls were going to take me. I'm sure a lot of them kind of had their guard up a little bit. But it didn't take long for them to realize that I was here for them. I'm here for the long haul, and I wanted nothing but the best for all of them. And really, we haven't really had to work around anything that's happened, with prior coaches or anything of that. We kind of just leave the past in the past, and we're hoping to build the future of Southeast of Saline volleyball.
Well, and taking a look at where things stand, at this point in the season, what would you say feels like the biggest strength of the team that you have this year?
So I feel like just what these girls have kind of been through over the last few years, just different coaches and different philosophies and different expectations. And we have a lot of experience returning from last year. There's some amazing leaders. We've got a huge freshman class that's starting. And so I'm really excited about all of that. There's some pretty solid talent coming up as well as what we already have.
Well, and you mentioned some of that veteran leadership. Who are some of those big leaders on this team, and what has impressed you about the way they lead on the floor?
So probably Sutton Douglas has really been a true leader from the first day I'd met her. She's our setter on the team, so she kind of leads the team on the court. But so many girls have stepped into so many different roles this year. We have came up with a lot of different leaders in different aspects of the game.
Early here in the season, from what you've seen in practice to what you've seen in maybe some early season action, what has stood out to you the most about your team in these first couple of weeks?
Just really the fact that they have given me their all. They really are listening to the things I have to say, and not a lot of, well, this isn't what we've done in the past and this. So they're really, really buying into what we're trying to teach them every day. I'm big on fundamentals, so we have spent a lot of time on that. And it's really showing on the court already.
Kind of on the flip side of that same coin, what are some of the biggest improvements that you still want to see as we head deeper into the season?
As I just stated, continuing to work on our fundamentals. I take a lot of pride in a solid passing game, because you can't start a volleyball game if you can't pass the ball. So I'm really hoping that we can improve some more on our passing and our coverage, and just being able to see the court a little bit better.
When you think about the teams that you're going to be seeing on the most regular basis, obviously Beloit comes to mind, but also, Sacred Heart, Minneapolis, Ellsworth. When you think about the NCAA this year, how challenging do you feel like this league is?
There are some pretty competitive teams in our league. As you stated, Beloit, they always court a very solid team. But Minneapolis, Sacred Heart, they're also building programs and doing great things as well. We literally just take each team that they're the best team, and we work week by week preparing for the upcoming matches.
You've got a big tournament coming up at home this weekend, I believe on Saturday. How excited are you to be hosting that and to have a chance to play some volleyball in front of the purple and white?
Oh, yeah, the girls love playing on the home court. We are hoping to get bigger crowds as we work on, like I stated, building this program. There's a lot of good teams, very competitive tournament. We'll start our morning off tomorrow with Salina South and then right on to Abilene and Hillsboro. Hillsboro's always a huge competitor, and they bring so much talent. And the other side of the bracket's got like Beloit, Concordia, Circle, Smoky Valley. So as you can see, it's going to be an extremely tough tournament.
Well, and for Southeast fans that are listening right now that want to come and cheer on your team tomorrow, when can they come and do that, and where do they come in here for the volleyball tournament?
So you'll come in the athletic entrance at Southeast of Saline. We play at 9, 10, and 11, and then bracket play starts at 1 o'clock.
Well, Coach Olson, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck to your team this weekend.
So thank you very much for having me.
Once again, that was Shandy Olson joining us here on the Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report. Our conversation presented by Juanel Garrettson at Salina Homes. We'll step away, but halftime rolls on next. You're listening to Southeast of Saline football right here on KINA.
Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knauf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knauf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
It's natural to think that insurance is complicated, but at Farmers Agency, we know a thing or two about helping to make it easier by explaining your available coverage options. And with over 25 years of experience in insurance, we can help you through the process step by step. Call Kniper Agency at 825-8419 to learn more today.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Salina Surgical Hospital is a high-quality surgical facility with a comfortable and home-like atmosphere. Together with our community's greatest doctors, we are committed to a patient care model where exceptional satisfaction is the norm and every patient feels like they are treated with respect, dignity, and compassion. Salina Surgical Hospital is partially owned by a group of local community-involved physicians. Talk to your doctor about scheduling your next procedure with us. Salina Surgical Hospital. Your voice, your choice.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins!
Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at Copyco. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, Copyco also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here on the Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report, Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith. It's 8 o'clock. Happy Friday evening to you. Not part of our Bennington State Bank scoreboard, but we'll mention it. The K-State Wildcats are playing the Arizona Wildcats tonight, not tomorrow. And that's starting right now at 8 o'clock as they are in the desert. Here at 16-0 Trojans, as we take a check of first half stats that are presented by the Bank of Tesket. For Southeast of Saline, Gannon Jacobson so far throwing the football is 7 out of 10, 125 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. His main target so far has been Caden Berrigan with 3 receptions, 49 yards. Kenyon Douglas had a reception of 55 yards, which did he or did he not step out of bounds? 24 yards on 2 catches for Bryson Lippold and a catch for 2 yards by Marion Hollub. Only 2 Trojans with rushing yards so far in this game. Gannon Jacobson, 7 carries, 42 yards and a 12-yard touchdown. Grady Gebhardt, 9 carries, 30 yards and a 1-yard touchdown. For Clay Center, 0 of 2 passing the football for Drew Hoffman. On the ground, Isaac Gurton, 14 carries, 44 yards. Drew Hoffman, 7 carries, 25 yards. Ethan Leitzel, 2 carries, 8 yards. A carry by Noah Gibson for 7 yards. All in all, in the first half, Clay Center had 82 yards rushing and 82 yards of total offense. Southeast of Saline had 72 yards rushing, 125 yards passing, and 197 yards total offense in that first half. Southeast of Saline only had the ball 3 times in that first half. One of the drives ended up after a Clay Center turnover on a 1-yard Grady Gebhardt touchdown run. 2-point conversion run by Kenyon Douglas was good. That was 8-0 with 4:31 left to go. Southeast of Saline would then get a stop and take the ball down again in the second quarter. 8:08 left to go in the second quarter. And their drive that started out the 20-yard line went 79 yards, and they needed 80 because they stalled out on the 1-yard line on a 4th and goal from the 1. But then Southeast would get the ball back with 1:16 left to go before half. Gannon Jacobson would cash it in on a 12-yard touchdown run. Jacobson to Caden Berrigan on the 2-point conversion pass. 16-0 is our score here at halftime for Southeast of Saline as they lead the Clay Center Tigers. First half had just a little bit of everything, Tyler, as we kind of saw this Clay Center team take the approach of if we have the ball, they can't score type of deal. They did have one miscue in there, though, that hurt them bad, and that was the fumble back in Southeast of Saline territory that led to the Trojans' first touchdown.
With this offense.
I'll unfreeze you here. Hang on a second.
With this offense, that's exactly what it is. It's staying ahead of the chains. You have to play turnover-free, and you just have to slowly move the ball down the field. It's exactly what they want to do, and their game plan is working. The problem is Southeast is so fundamentally sound right now. They're taking away any big plays. We talked about the importance of making that second tackle. We've seen Southeast make so many of those first tackles, but you can't let that second tackle get away. You've seen that's when the defensive backs get involved. Again, talking about the trenches, you talked about these defensive linemen, these linebackers scraping off, hitting the A gaps, hitting off the outside, making sure they're taking care of those roles. This might be the cleanest game. If we were playing last year, after the rain that we've had, these DBs would still be sparkly clean because they haven't had to do a lot of work, and that means your first 2 levels are doing everything correctly. Speaking to Coach Mitch Gebhardt at halftime, he kind of had that calmness about him. He wasn't extremely happy they didn't, score all 3 drives. The 4th and goal from the 1 didn't get that. But when you're playing a team like Clay Center and your defense is doing everything fundamentally, it lets you kind of relax a little because they don't have that big play drive capabilities. And that's what's keeping, Coach Gebhardt ready and knowing getting the ball to start the second half, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Take a check of the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. El Saline has ran away from Osborne at halftime, 30-6 Cardinals in that game. Another big game, Andale and Wellington. Andale, the number 1 team in Class 3A. Wellington, the number 5 team in Class 4A. It's 48-8 Andale over Wellington in that game. Also another game of interest, Lincoln over Pike Valley, 46-0. And Salina Central leading Arc City at the end of 1. Last check of that one, 14-0 Mustangs. It's 16-0, Southeast of Saline leading here. What do you think for your new image audio keys to success here for Southeast in the second half?
It's going to be boring, Devin, but it's all about just staying sound defensively. Again, defense is pitching a shutout right now. You continue to pitch a shutout. Doesn't matter what your offense does. What we've seen, steps in that special teams than we saw from last week. The kickoff, coverage has been much better than it was last week. We haven't seen a kick return yet. We're getting ready to see that now. But it's just taking steps. It's that difference between week 1 and week 2, taking care of the film, taking care of what you've seen, making those improvements week in and week out, and making sure you're always going 1-0.
How much pressure have you put on Clay Center now, scoring at the end of the first half, and now you get the ball to start out? And, again, they don't appear to be a team that is capable of coming from behind and having a rally.
No, not at all. And, I think Mitch Gebhardt coaches a lot like we watch. Like, he doesn't like to have the ball for too long. He wants to go. He wants to put the pedal to the metal. He wants to create absolute havoc. He wants to just go. And first drive, always super important, come out of halftime, right? Again, you're not always just coaching for this game, you're coaching for the season. The first drive, you talk about the last 4 minutes of each half. Those are always huge for teams and how they coach those. But it's also the first 4 minutes. Like, how do you win this first 4 minutes? What's your drive like? I'm assuming there's a script ready for when you come out in the second half and you go. I'm excited to see how Coach Gebhardt and his Trojans handle this second half, because a touchdown right here inevitably kind of is the nail in the coffin.
Gypsum Fall Festival's coming up October 18th. See a full schedule of events for the Gyp Show, Fall Festival, and Carnival on Facebook with the Gypsum Valley Booster Club. Also, the Zombies are coming back, and they're going to be invading Elite Sports Paintball. Zombie Expedition starts again this fall on October 11th at Elite Sports Paintball. You can go to zombieexpedition.com for more information and to get your Zombie Expedition passes. Southeast of Saline ready to return as they will start on the receiving end of the kick to start the second half. Glad you could join us. 16-0. Southeast leading Clay Center here on KINA. Tonight's broadcast on KINA and also live stream video free of charge on SalinaPost.com. Presented by LilyPad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms.
And right now, the first thing you're concerned with, and this happens a lot with Southeast, you always have to be worried for that onside coming out of halftime, right? Like, Clay Center's going to try to do anything to ignite themselves, so that front line's going to stay until they see the ball kicked.
Kick. It's going to be taken off the pads. It's going to be scooped up, though, by Canyon Douglas. Douglas is going to stretch it to the outside. He's tripped up and will stumble ahead to about the 20-yard line. Boy, disaster averted there for Southeast of Saline. Canyon Douglas ends up with the loose ball. He picks it up, and now the Trojan offense will come out onto the field as they will start here at their own 20-yard line. 2-touchdown lead for Southeast. Can keep in mind the history of this series. The last 2 years, it was a 2-point victory for Southeast last year. It was a 5-point victory for Southeast 2 years ago. So this series between the Tigers and the Trojans, very, very tight. As Gannon Jacobson starts out with Grady Gebhardt directly behind him. He'll turn, hand it off to Grady. The senior tailback comes through, and he gets to the 20-yard line, but then is stood up and brought down by 3 separate Tigers on the play. Right in the middle of that was Levi Kramer, 5'11", 185-pound senior.
Yeah, Kramer did a good job. He not only had Douglas coming at him, but he also had a pulling guard. Just did a good job taking on both blocks. That's a great tackle from Kramer.
They've been keying on Grady Gebhardt pretty much all night. Grady had a field day against Minneapolis last week. Clay Center has been prepared for him here this week. Here's the fake to Gebhardt. Slant route off of Berrigan's hands. It was a touch behind him, and the ball falls incomplete. Boy, I like that play call. Just need to execute it a little bit better. That ball is a little bit out in front of Caden. He might still be running with it. He's a little shaken up. He comes over to the sideline. Adam Teal will replace him.
Yeah, I like that play action because you got to bite on the hard. That's great coverage out there on the outside. You saw from Caden Good from Clay Center. It made it a tough window to throw and catch right there. Right there you saw Clay Center won that play.
3rd and 10, lollipop over the top of the defense, but it falls short of Grady Gebhardt and Southeast of Saline. Now looking like they're going to go in punt formation and a 3-and-out to start the second half. Boy, that is not what you wanted if you're a Southeast of Saline fan. As they look now to give the ball back to Clay Center. The Tigers did everything they had to do there.
Yeah, they did a great job. Stuff that first down run then led to, is a great defensive play from Good on second down, which leads you to a 3rd and long situation. Gannon just barely missed Gebhardt right there, or else that play's huge. 4th and long.
Jacobson in punt formation. Sorry about that. On the heels at the own 5-yard line. He's going to put his foot into it. It is a high spiraling kick that's going to drive Clay Center back to the other side of midfield. Here's the return by Leitzel. Leitzel still on his feet. A flag flies. He's at the 40 and then brought down there by Tyson Keller and a friend that gets up off the pile.
There are flags on the play.
Tyler Bramblett was over there, and he brought it all the way back to the 30, but 3 different flags as the officiating crew airs them out here on a Friday night at Steve Fritz Field back at midfield. They're all sitting between the 40 and the 50-yard line.
Well, a huge kick from Jacobson. You see that a lot when you have athletes that are covering the kick, and you just saw that Southeast was swarming, and there's so many players that were just, their backs were towards their blockers. And you saw right there, Clay Center's going to be called for a block in the back, which is going to negate that huge return and move the ball, it looks like all the way back to the 49. Sorry, I'm incorrect. The 46 of Southeast of Saline.
I don't think they've walked it off yet.
No, they have not. There you go.
So it's going to be back in their own territory. And again, the way we've seen Clay Center's offense play here in this game, every one of those steps is valuable. It's like gold to them.
Without a doubt, but what a great kick from Jacobson. The wind has died down a lot from the opening of the game. We got a nice breeze up here. It's nice. But down on field level, it looks like the The flag's kind of dying a little bit, but just a great kick from Jacobson to shift the field, and that's huge. Field position so massive against any team, especially against a team that runs an offense like Clay Center.
1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 43-yard line after the penalty. They're going to put it in the belly of Isaac Girton. He's running over Trojans, now into the second level. He's going to break off 9.5 yards on 1st down. 15th carry of the night, 53 yards for Girton. You might think that's a big workload, and it is, but remember, he carried the ball 29 times for 145 yards last week against the Abilene Cowboys. 2nd down and 1 from the 48. Clay Center now check with me at the line of scrimmage. Everybody looking at their wrist coach with the plays on them. They do have 2 wide receivers for one of the few times in this game, 1 on each side. 2nd short. Playbook open. Hoffman back to pass. Has a man over the top. It's intercepted. Caden Berrigan out of nowhere at the 40. Cuts it back to the 50. Looking for midfield, and he's going to be tattooed down there at the 42-yard line. KB answered the call in the secondary, and he pucks one out of the air. An interception for Southeast of Saline.
David, you said it right. 2nd and 1, your playbook is completely open. That's a great time to open up the lid, try to pop it big because you have third down to kind of get that play. But Berrigan, he stayed true to his fundamentals. He read his reads. He saw that wheel come out, picked off the ball. Great return from Berrigan. And we talked about him. It's not a drop, right? We said that slant play was a little bit behind him, but just a massive play right there from Berrigan to make up for that 2nd down that he didn't catch. That turned the tide right there.
Short field for Southeast of Saline. They take over at the Tiger 43-yard line. It was a good return by Berrigan. He caught that up ball on the interception on the run. Here's Gebhardt looking for space. Has a crease. Plants the foot. Cuts back up inside and makes it to the 32-yard line. It's a gain of 11 for Grady Gebhardt and a 1st down for Southeast of Saline.
And, Devin, I don't know if you saw down with the fans here, so I know they saw this line of post, but Gannon Jacobson is running behind him kind of. It looks like he's maybe asking for a lateral. And you can't put anything beside these two. I mean, they played so many games just in their backyards right there. Just a great run from Gebhardt right there to get things going.
Longest carry of the night for for Grady Gebhardt. Here's the flag screen out to Malachi Hopkins. He's shaking tackles. He's making Tigers miss. And he gets it down inside the 15, all the way down to the 14-yard line. Good carry there by Malachi Hopkins. 18 yards on the play.
And I just love the pitch and catch. I love how, if you can simplify this game in any way, you take advantage of that. That's exactly what Gannon saw. He saw the coverage was off, just throws it to Hopkins, takes advantage.
Malachi's the 5th Southeast of Saline receiver to catch a ball tonight. Here's a slide down by Kenyon Douglas. He was turned out. Check it. That's Adam Teal who's still in there. Caden Berrigan over here still on the sideline. He got a little shaken up on that slant route on the last drive. He did play defense, obviously, though, but he's over here now on offense on the sideline. It's Adam Teal out there who went down to try to catch that ball, and it's incomplete. 1 of 4 passing the football for Gannon Jacobson here in this 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 10. Ball sitting at the 14-yard line in the Case IH red zone. Here's the fake, 2 different backs. Jacobson still has it, rolling out to the right. Now he's going to step the break, gets it to Teal, and Adam can't hang on at the 1-yard line as he was falling out of bounds. Maybe more concerned about keeping the feet in than making the catch, and that's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, tough opportunity for Teal, but you saw Jacobson's just patience. He just waited, didn't panic, hit Teal right in the numbers. But you're exactly right. I think Teal was running out of real estate. He was worried about too many things at once. But I thought Jacobson's patience right there, and he'll continue to go to Teal on that play. That's something that he'll grow into. It's a tough play right now, week 2. I'm assuming by the playoffs he'll be fine with that.
3rd down and 10. Gebhardt in motion. He's going to leave the backfield. Here's the screenplay we saw against Minneapolis. Grady out in the midfield, and he's going to be on the sideline. He's going to take on a Tiger and win. Grady Gebhardt on the screenplay. We saw a huge success with that in Minneapolis last week. Grady had 2 first-half touchdowns, and he's going to score again here from 14 yards away. The first passing touchdown of the night for Gannon Jacobson.
You love watching that, right? Like Gebhardt had a clear path to the end zone. What did he do? He planted the right foot in, and he wanted to deliver a low shoulder to the Clay Center defensive back. He's let him know, if you're going to tackle me, it's going to hurt. He could have gone untouched. He did not. Did you see Southeast Saline 2-point conversion?
Kenyon Douglas steps through a would-be tackler, and he's going to score now. Southeast perfect on 2-point conversions, and they go up 24-0 with 9:11 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Southeast of Saline out by 3 scores as we step away. Trojan football here on KINA.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now, he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Short field for Southeast of Saline after the Caden Berrigan interception. It was a 43-yard drive, and it's capped off with a 14-yard screen pass for a touchdown. Gannon Jacobson to Grady Gebhardt. Kenyon Douglas with the 2-point conversion. Southeast of Saline goes up 24-0. The scoring recap brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook at Maury Clinic Sports Medicine. Boy, Southeast 3 and out on their first offensive drive. They go out, they get a turnover, and now they have scored 16 points off of 2 Clay Center turnovers.
And again, Grady Gebhardt, everything does is deliberate and with a statement. He made a statement right there, decided I can either have a clear path to the end zone or I'm going to lay somebody out. He decided to drop his shoulder. That kid is all about statement and culture.
Here's the kickoff by Malachi Hopkins, going to be taken at the 15-yard line by Leitzel, and he is going to come out across the 30 and probably end up about the 33-yard line, I'm guessing. Here's the biggest key, though, Tyler, in my eyes. So far, Clay Center's only had the ball 2 plays. Remember, their first down play was a 9-yarder. Their second one, they decided to air it out, and that's when Caden Berrigan took it back.
And that's what becomes dangerous when you're trying to chase points with this offense, because you're not used to it. You're not conditioned to do these things, and that's what becomes. This is a great offense to run if you have the lead. If you don't have the lead, you get behind the 8 ball pretty quickly.
First down and 10 for Clay Center. They're over on the left-hand sideline. Little motion man on the pitch. And nothing working inside. They've maybe got a yard or two. Brody Chambers, Tristan Swank, Kenyon Douglas all getting up off the pile for Southeast of Saline. 2 yards on the play.
And again, it's not going to be pretty from this defensive line, but they are doing exactly what they need to do. They're squeezing everything in. They're making it really difficult to run to the outside, and that's where your linebackers are chipping off.
Clay Center getting quickly back to the line of scrimmage as they have all night, but not doing much once they get there except for go over their playbooks. Second down and 8. Hoffman now steps back into the shotgun. Little speed option to the right-hand side. He's going to keep it, though. His pitchman turns into a blocker, and Southeast of Saline's going to end that play by committee over the right-hand side. Nice carry, though, by Hoffman as he takes it out just to the 40-yard line. It's going to be a third down and 4.
And again, it's Berrigan from that corner just collapsing in, just delivering a huge hit. That's one of those things, the defensive back, you get kind of, I don't want to say bored or complacent, but these defensive backs have not done that. He did a great job reading the run, comes up, collapse. It's a big hit from Berrigan.
3rd and 4 for Southeast of Saline's defense here. Clay Center trying to keep this drive alive. We're midway through the third quarter. 7:48 left to go. 24-0. Southeast of Saline leading. Hoffman back to pass, looking down the right-hand sideline. It's going to be low and dropped to his intended receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down. So far in this football game, Clay Center is 0 of 4 passing the football with an interception.
And again, that makes it tough. Again, you're reading your reads. You're continuing to play that man defense. Usually when you're playing an offense like this, your DBs are on islands. They're all playing man-to-man defense. They're still having their run reads, but that's the secondary. You're letting your secondary thought for them. They're letting their line and their linebackers take care of that. You take care of the receiver. After you see the receiver has no pass play responsibilities, that's when you go make the tackle.
Here's the punt by Girton. It's a high kick angling to the right-hand side, and it's going to be out of bounds. We'll see where the officials place this. It was up to you by Salina Ortho, also the Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance, Southeast of Saline's Education Foundation, your driveway and highway specialist, Apex Shears, Copico, and Frisbee Construction. Clay Center's defense trying to get a stop. Southeast of Salina will go 3 wide on the right-hand side. Gebhardt is in the backfield. He'll take the ball on first down. Straight through the middle. He's in the second level. Look out. Grady Gebhardt with a Tiger to beat. The Tiger has the angle. It's not going to matter. Grady Gebhardt's inside the 20. Inside the 10. It's a one-play drive. Southeast of Saline tacks on another touchdown as the Trojans strike quick. It's Grady Gebhardt. 72 yards.
And again, That's Grady Gebhardt at his best. We've seen the last 2 plays have been all offensive line from Southeast Saline, and then all Grady Gebhardt. We saw him show all of his strengths on both of those plays. 2 plays ago when he scored on that touchdown, it was lowering the shoulder and just driving into somebody right there. Just speed. Outran every defender. Grady Gebhardt, fantastic play, but all created from the trenches and from the offensive line of Southeast.
2 touchdowns for Southeast come less than 2 minutes apart as Grady Gebhardt gets into the end zone. Southeast now huddling up for the 2-point conversion. This one by Grady, a 72-yarder. It's his second rushing touchdown of the night. And now the distance between these 2 teams grows even more with 7:17 left to go in the third. Jacobson has LaVon Hopkins in the backfield with him. Gannon still has the football, looking to the back of the end zone. He's just going to race it to the pylon, dive, and knock that pylon down for the 2-point conversion. Gannon Jacobson on the rush for the 2-point conversion. Southeast of Saline remains perfect. They are 4 for 4 on 2-point conversions tonight. Now the Trojans lead it 32-0. Trojan football tonight brought to you by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Back with more Southeast of Saline football after this on KINA.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan football on KINA Sports.
Devin Haney, Tyler Smith back here at Steve Fritz Field. Southeast of Saline has come out swinging in the third quarter of action, and they have taken a 32-0 lead. Still have 7:17 left to go here in the third quarter. Boy, what an explosion. They started 3 and out, right? And we're like, boy, you don't want to do that. And then all of a sudden it's like, hang on. We're leaning on our defense quite a bit, and that's the biggest play of the night offensively. They're turned in by Grady Gebhardt in this rushing game. Malachi Hopkins with his hand in the air, ready to kick it away for Southeast. He'll angle this towards the left hash. It's going to be caught on the run. This one could be dangerous as Leitzel down the right-hand sideline looking for some space. He's going to end up all the way out to the 48-yard line. Good return right there by Ethan Leitzel, the junior.
Devin, you're exactly right. Catches the ball on the run. Always dangerous, when you're a kickoff coverage unit. But again, it's Cannon Douglas right there that was on his own on an island, decided just to dig his heels in, make the tackle. It's a huge tackle. If Douglas doesn't make that tackle, this play's still going on. It's going 6 the other way. But just a great job. He made the business decision that he's making sure this ball carrier didn't take it home.
For the most part, still first-string guys out there on defense. This Trojan defense, we haven't talked about them enough tonight. They have just been out there just eating dirt, just stopping this Clay Center attack. And here it goes again as Girton, the dive off the right-hand side, is going to fall ahead and get about 4 yards on first down. Isaac Girton, his 17th carry of the night, has unofficially 59 yards.
Yeah, not a lot of room on that side. You just saw, again, a swarm of Trojans over there making the tackle.
To the 47-yard line on the other side of the 50. How beautiful is that Trojan logo at midfield, huh?
It's fantastic. That thing, yeah, beautiful. Beautiful right there.
Here's the play to the right, still moving. Isaac Girton again. Killian Vaughn there to make the stop. Gain of 3 on the play for Girton.
And you're right, when we haven't talked about this defense a lot, we've had time, right? Because Clay Center's had the ball like all night. But it's just so many Trojans just take care of things, and every play ends up like this. That's a 3rd and short. This should be Clay Center's bread and butter. You should be able to go. But it's sound, responsible, fundamental defense where everybody's taking care of their own jobs, and you're seeing Kerr, you're seeing Weller, you're seeing Swank, you're seeing just so many names. It's not just Chambers, it's Weller, it's everybody is making plays right now, keeping those linebackers clean to come just clean everything up.
4th down for Clay Center, 4th and about a yard. They're going to go to Girton off the right-hand side. He's getting to the linebacker level now, has it with about 10 yards to spare, and that's a big, big first down for Clay Center. Grady Gebhardt not on the field for that play. He's going to come back on now. and give Amarion Holub a break.
And that's what this offense was to do. It's how many times can you just puncture, and at some point you're gonna explode and try to make a big play right there. But you saw it's a secondary that's been kept clean all night. They finally had an opportunity to make a tackle, and they did a good job keeping that play minimal yardage right there and giving Clay Center a first down instead of a touchdown.
Ball at the 31. They're going to fake it to the first guy through. Now they'll come to the second guy through. That's Leitzel, and he will battle his way inside of the 30-yard line. A gain of 3 on the play for Ethan Leitzel.
And again, it was Douglas that came in just flying from the outside. You saw, again, defensive lineman tripping him up, but it's Douglas to finish him off.
2nd down and 7 at the 28-yard line. This is the deepest Clay Center has been in southeast of Saline territory tonight. Southeast leads it 32-0. Again, taking their time at the line of scrimmage. Hoffman back under center. Has a pitch man in motion. Hoffman's going to fake it to the first guy through. Now keep it. He's inside the 20, inside the 10, trying to drag Trojans with him, and he's going to be brought down just outside of the 5-yard line at about the 6. Big carry there of 22 yards by quarterback Drew Hoffman.
And Devin, don't let the score fool you. This is times that Coach Mitch Gebhardt wants to see what his defense is like down here in the red zone, playing against the flex bone. This is tough. He wants everyone's going. We're not giving anything easy up right now. We've got to go. We've got to make a defensive stand right here if you're southeast of Saline.
First down and goal for Clay Center from the 6-yard line. Deep into southeast territory. Hoffman, pitch out, left hand, looking for Girton, and Girton runs right into Killian Vaughn. What a collision that was. And Girton's going to get a yard out of the play. Nice hit there by Killian Vaughn.
Yeah, that's a PlayStation hit stick right there. There wasn't much of a wrap right there, but Vaughn delivers such a blow. He makes sure the ball carrier is put straight down.
See if Southeast defense can stand up here. 2nd down and goal for Clay Center just inside of the 5-yard line. Hoffman looks over to the sideline, checking out of the play. Now he's looking at his wrist coach once again. Still plenty of time on the play clock. It's down to 12. Hoffman back under center. Has a single back behind him. It's Girton. They're going to turn, hand it to Isaac Girton, and he's going to fall ahead and just be short of the goal line at the 1. It's a gain of 4 on the play to Isaac Girton. That'll bring up 3rd and goal at the 1.
3rd and goal.
So from the 1, Clay Center. Lining it up, just one receiver, and he's not even really that far wide out. Actually, they have 2, one over here on the left as well. Drew Hoffman checking with his wideouts. 2 wingbacks. They're going to turn, give it to Girton. Drop the football. Nope, Girton has it. Hoffman turned around like he was trying to look for the football, but it's going to be a touchdown to Isaac Girton. A 1-yard touchdown run, his 23rd carry of the night. And that's a 52-yard drive for Clay Center after the big return from Ethan Leitzel. And it comes with 2:48 left to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, that's a great drive from Clay Center. Not look at the score, which is a great drive to grow on, to do the things just coaching points are taken. If you drive the ball down the field, if you control the trenches, you can do things. Problem is, you're down 32-6 with the extra point pending.
Caden Good on for the extra point kick. His kick is going to be high, and it's going to be good. So the extra point kick is good, and Clay Center has scored for the first time this evening. They are now on the board at 32-7. 2:48 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Trojan football back with more here from Steve Fritz Field on KINA.
Hey, Trojans fans, this is Angela Gebhardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Southeast of Saline football on KINA, brought to you by Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Wherever the Trojans go, they take a trainer, a reliable, trusted trainer from Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Also, Isaacson Truck Line, Smart Insurance, Phillips Seed Farms, and the bank of Teskett. Tyler Smith, Devin Haney back here. Nick Garst producing and engineering back at the KINA studios. Trojans just gave up the first points of the night. 32-7 now the scores. Clay Center got their first touchdown. About 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Brody Chambers, along with Drew Weller, sitting over here on the bench. You don't see Southeast guys park it on the bench very often. I think that speaks to the work they've been doing in the trenches. And see Mitch Gebhardt just kind of turn around, give him a quick wink, and clap his hands together. Be interesting to see if they even come out on offense here. Here's a high kick. It's going to be taken back by Caden Good. Now it's going to be returned Marion Hollop from the goal line. Marion will bring it to the 20, and a good return there as he's driven out of bounds. So Southeast of Saline's offense will come out on, and we will have a couple of different linemen up front. For Southeast, as it looks like Brody Chambers and Weller will remain resting on the bench. Garrett Kuhn will come out. He will still be in his spot along with Ryan Weller. Eli Jennings still out there. Tristan Swank still out there. Who am I missing? Have a Southeast player getting stretched out, or maybe that's a Clay Center player.
Right.
It's Clay Center player.
Difficult to see right now. Devin, quickly, this was my first Friday morning at Southeast of Saline, and I got to say it was one of the coolest things driving up. We get here about 7:25, 7:30, and there's football players tailgating with, I don't want to say the brand of breakfast burritos.
Yeah.
Don't know the sponsor, but they're all out there eating, right? Like, it's so cool to see what these guys have done. And you want to know who started that tradition. Like, that's one of those things I want to dive in deeper. Like, who started this tradition of morning tailgates before morning, on Fridays. It's just awesome to see the camaraderie with this team. I then walk through the gym, walk by the weight room as they're right after school, and you just hear music blaring, and it's karaoke in there. Like, they're all getting each other, they're all getting loose. Horrible singers, right? Great football players. But it's just fun to see the atmosphere and fun to see these little traditions that maybe have been here for years and years and years that I've never known about. But it's a family. Like, it's so cool to see how this whole thing has gone. And, what a better way to see them open up this field, this turf stadium. The stadium, the field, how everything is just fantastic tonight.
Caden Schwab was the Tiger that was down on the play. He has made his way off the field. And now Southeast of Saline's offense coming out on the field as well. Looks like maybe Killian Vaughn will be that other offensive lineman. They've kind of flexed him around. He's a backup center, but last week in Minneapolis we saw him play guard a couple of times. And that's not even him. That's Elijah Kerr, now that I see he's down in a three-point stance. Here's the give to Grady Gebhardt. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, gets in the second level. Spin move, look out, 30, 40, 50, has a blocker and has a Tiger to beat, and it's not going to happen. Grady Gebhardt, back-to-back carries, back-to-back touchdowns. He just put a Tiger in the spin cycle and said, see you later.
Devin, if you're looking at his numbers in the first half, not great. Just continue to pound the ball, right? We've seen him touch the ball the last 3 offensive possessions from Southeast of Saline. It was that little screen that he caught in the second possession in the second half, and then we've seen 2 just massive runs where he went untouched. He came off the field right there. He's looking, saying he's tired. He might be done. Holy smokes. Dynamite in his back right there. Great play from Grady Gebhardt.
81 yards for Grady. And that is as electric as what it's going to be. He was breaking tackles and was stepping out of a tackle when he stepped into a spin move.
Yes.
To avoid a tackler. Swinging gate now for Southeast of Saline as they go for 2. Isolation play. Jacobson just going to take this one in super easy. So Gannon Jacobson on the 2-pointer, but Grady Gebhardt gets it on a long 81-yard touchdown run. Southeast of Saline up 40-7, and another timeout as we step away here on KINA.
You're a working man with a job to do.
This is Jeff with Vanderbilts in Salina. We are in high-vis heaven here at Vanderbilts. If you need high-vis safety shirts, vests, or jackets, come see us so we can see you. We also have hard hats in the colors black, white, silver, copper, and lime. We now carry ear protection too. Stay safe out there, working on our streets, roads, and highways with high-vis safety gear from Vanderbilts.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Trojans not wasting any time. They are the polar opposite of Clay Center's offense. A one-play drive. The last 2 carries for Grady Gephardt here, Tyler, 153 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Did you say last
2 carries? Last 2 carries. He is unofficially sniffing 200 yards on the night. This after having 30 yards in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Clay Center did a great job in the first half just keeping him in check. They did such a good job, but that's what this offense does. Again, how do you defend this team? What do you do? Are you going to stack up and take care of the run? Or are you going to try to take care of – you're going to try to defend Jacobson and all those wide receiver threats? And Clay Center did such a good job in the first half. There's only so long you can keep Grady Gephardt down.
Dr. Andrew Westbrook, not a lot to say there. A one-play drive, 81 yards. Touchdown Southeast, Grady Gephardt. Malachi Hopkins with his hand in the air. This is going to be a high end-over-end kick taken at the 30-yard line by the Tigers on the run and still on the feet here and working for a little bit of extra yardage is Kyan Ramey, and he gets it out to the 40-yard line. Little inside information here. The pregame tailgate before school has been going on at least since 2017. That according to my historic analyst, Lori Blake. So we can go back that far. So now it's your job to dig past that.
Gotcha. We'll continue to dive and look into this thing.
You have a mission now. Clay Center will start out here at their own 41-yard line as we are getting ready to round out the third quarter. Still 2:21 left to go here. Now here's a Clay Center Tiger on the run. And it's going to be a 13-yard gain by Drew Hoffman, the quarterback that time for Clay Center.
Yeah, Hoffman's impressive, right? If you just a little window and he's going to bust through that thing. Again, got to the secondary, a great job from Southeast. You saw Jacobson, you saw other safeties, other defensive secondaries. They're just a swarm, but Hoffman can explode things and he can make things really difficult defensively.
13 yards on that carry puts the ball back into Southeast of Saline territory at the 46-yard line. Here's a fake. Hoffman will keep it again as he pulled it out of the belly of Girton, and he will go ahead for about 3 yards. Drew Weller underneath on the pile that time. Clipped the ankles first, it looked like, for Southeast of Saline. He also got help, though, from Josh Watkins, who's in a linebacker for Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, I love that from Watkins. I mean, he's down there low. He's biting ankles, making sure he's making tackles. That's not an easy tackle to make right there, but he had help from the defensive line. Watkins, again, coming out, clean up the trash. Anytime you're cleaning up trash, it means your defensive line's doing what they need to do. You're just coming up and making that second hit.
2nd down and 8 for the Clay Center Tigers. Ball sitting just inside the 45-yard line. Option play. Hoffman's going to keep it again into the second level, and there's Caden Berrigan making a tackle, but a first down for Drew Hoffman as he moves it just inside of the 35-yard line.
Devin, how much fun is Berrigan? I mean, just watching him play. I mean, you see right there, he makes a big-time tackle, sticks his nose in, and just hops up, sprints off right now. I think maybe going to give Berrigan, I mean, you start talking about giving guys a rest. Berrigan deserves a little. He's been doing everything tonight.
1st down and 10 for Clay Center. Football at the 33-yard line. Beautiful night for football after it's cooled off here in Saline County. Here's Isaac Girton trucking his way down to the 26-yard line. Gain of about 7 on the play. I think the fatigue is evident on both sides defensively. Plays starting to come with a lot more yardage, bigger chunks as this game continues on. Last carry about 6 yards there for Girton. It's 2nd down and 4. Girton around the right-hand side. He cuts it back up in the middle, though he's running over Southeast players. Went through Jacobson, then went through Hopkins, and he's going to end up inside the 15-yard line at the 12. Boy, what a carry that was.
Yeah, really great. Great carry from Girton. And you see Jacobson sticking his nose in there. At some point, you're wondering how many times I want Jacobson sticking my nose in to Girton right there. That's a one-on-one battle. You don't mind taking in the first quarter, second quarter, if the game's a little bit closer, up 40-7. I'll be interested to see how much more defense Gannon Jacobson plays.
That is the end of the third as we will come back. 4 fingers in the air, the fourth quarter. Southeast of Saline leads Clay Center here at the end of the third. 40-7 Trojans as we step away for a 1-minute timeout. You're listening to Trojan Football.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
When crop and weather conditions are just right, you need to bale as much as you can, as fast as you can, all while putting up the highest quality product possible. Case IH round balers have the reputation as the hardest working balers in the business to consistently build dense bales with square shoulders that don't sag. No matter the crop or field condition, bale more with Case IH round balers. With easier maintenance and serviceability, you'll spend more time where it counts. In the field, baling hay. Ready to build a better bale? Contact Can Equip in Solomon.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here on the campus of Southeast of Saline, Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith just looking over a few scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. Smith Center and Phillipsburg 16-8 right now. So Smith Center leading that one. Sacred Heart not having a good go of it tonight in Plainville. Right now Plainville leads 51-0 at halftime. Beloit leads Concordia 20-13. Beloit the opponent next week for Southeast of Saline. Clay Center has the football. It's first down and 10 at the 12-yard line. This drive started out at their own 41. Clay Center just scored on their last drive for the first time in this game, but they are unable to keep Southeast from scoring. Here's Hoffman trying to find a hole coming through, and he is going to be met face-to-face by sophomore Tristan Swank.
Devin, sophomore Tristan Swank is all over the field. We see him offensively. He's leading a lot of the run plays. And you see him right there defensively, just shedding off an offensive lineman. Huge tackle from the sophomore.
He's off to a good start this season, isn't he?
He really is. And, again, sophomore. Watch him come off the bus. We alluded to this last week. He's the first guy off the bus type of guy. This guy is huge. He can run. He can move. He can get guys out of his way. He's going to be a problem for people.
Second down after the play that had no gain on first down. Here's Killian Vaughn meeting Isaac Girton in the hole as Southeast of Saline's defense tightens the cuffs a little bit. Vaughn with a big hit that time against Girton for no gain on the play.
And it's always fun to see, like when you have this, in between quarters, timeouts, what's the message? The message is clear. We're keeping them out of the end zone.
And Grady Gebhardt not even on the field right now. He's over here resting his heels as he had smoke coming off his sneakers after those last two runs.
I'm exhausted right now. Gebhardt's, he deserves a break.
Clay Center still standing at the line of scrimmage. Play clock down to 5. Hoffman rolling out to the left. Nobody to throw to, and now his carry is going to be ended. Again, he is met over there by Southeast of Saline. Defensively coming in on the blitz that time is Josh Watkins. Out there playing for Gebhardt. He was the first one through.
And Devin, we've said Watkins' name many times in this second half, and this is one of those things. You start getting reps right here. You start growing as a player. These plays will now be on film. You're going to watch film. You're going to talk about film. When you see good things happen on film, what that makes you do? It works harder in the weight room. It just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs.
Field goal attempt coming up here for Clay Center. This is going to be a 37-yarder coming from Caden Good. He's kicking into what little wind is left. Not much. As he is going to angle this kick to the middle, and it is going to be no good. So the field goal misses, and Southeast of Saline will get the football back. Grady Gebhardt will join his offense out onto the field now. 9:47 left to go here in the fourth. It's been all Southeast of Saline here in this second half.
And Devin, I like to see that from Coach Mark Henry, right? You're always looking to work on things, and you want to try to kick a field goal. Let's give our kicker an opportunity. Let's do it. I mean, there's no better time than game. You can hit those in practice all the time. Let's try to hit into a little bit of wind. The kick looked like it might have had the distance, just a little bit off. You're always working on things if you're a team like Clay Center. Any team, you're always working for the next week.
Gannon Jacobson out there. He plays it on the end around. Canyon Douglas. Douglas goes through a Clay Center player and then ran out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line. It's going to be a 9-yard gain by Canyon Douglas. Or did he get all 10 yards? He did. 10 yards. Canyon Douglas on the end around.
Yeah, I just love seeing Douglas right there. Just tucks the ball in that right arm. He's coming around the corner and delivering blows, not taking blows. He's delivering them. It's a great run from Douglas.
Adam Teal out there in the wide receiving core with Southeast of Saline. Berrigan and Douglas out there as well. Grady Gebhardt directly behind Jacobson. Jacobson fakes it to Grady. Now he sprints out to the right-hand side. Has a Tiger in isolation. Stiff arm. There's a flag on the play as Jacobson got about 9 yards, but we'll have to check the flag. Probably against Southeast of Saline here, but Jacobson with that big stiff arm out there on the corner.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold on Southeast, and that flag was thrown there, and that's one of those where, again, the offensive line, they don't know where the play is going. It's one of those RPOs where Jacobson is riding that. He's reading backers. If a backer commits, he's going to hand that. If a backer does not commit, he's going to hand that ball off. If a backer commits, he's going to take that and go. So the offensive line is supposed to block the exact same no matter where the ball's going. So they don't know exactly where it's going, and right there is Southeast of Saline offensive lineman. It's called for the hold.
10-yard play at the line of scrimmage. Backs him up to the 20. That's where this drive began. So 1st and 20 for Southeast of Saline. 2 wide receivers to the right. Jacobson wants to throw. A little quick out over here to Malachi Hopkins. Tried to hook it back inside and make the DB miss, but he could not. He makes the catch and ends up with about 3 yards.
No, and Aiden Gordon. Aiden Gordon, again, another great open field tackle right there. We've seen Hopkins shed tackles like that off a lot in his career, but Gordon just comes up. Good, clean tackle, made it quick so Hopkins couldn't get any more yards after the catch.
Gannon Jacobson has completed passes to 6 different receivers tonight. That was Malachi Hopkins' second catch. 4 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Hopkins is a single to the left. It's an empty backfield this time for Jacobson. Southeast of Saline has taken the tempo down a little bit, using more of this clock. Jacobson on the snap. Wants to let it fly down the seam. Has a receiver, and it's going to be caught. Diving down to a hit. Making the catch is Bryson Lippold. What a play by Lippold, and the throw by Jacobson out to the 45-yard line.
It's such a difficult catch right there. Lippold knew exactly where the ball was going, and he knew to get his body underneath the football to make sure it didn't hit the turf at all. Lippold gets his entire body underneath it. Great sliding catch from Lippold.
22 yards on the pitch and catch. Gannon to Lippold. Knows the football now, sitting at the 45. That's the element the Southeast has. They had it last year. You just don't see a lot of teams able to just throw it at will like that at times. Here's a ball that goes on the turf. And it looks like we have procedure on this. They're going to whistle it dead. The ball took a bounce, and Gannon Jacobson picked it up. But they're going to say procedure against Southeast of Saline. That'll back him up to the 40.
But, Devin, going back to that play that Lippold made the catch on, I mean, to me that looked like just verts, right? But if you take care of your spots, if you take care of your positions, verts isn't always like a Hail Mary or a long play. It's finding those soft spots. Jacobson knows where those receivers are going to be. Saw a soft spot behind the linebackers in front of the safeties, puts that throw right on the money, and Lippold makes a great catch.
3 receivers to the right. Caden Berrigan is solo to the left. Grady Gebhardt will move directly behind Gannon Jacobson in the pistol. 1st down and 15 from the 40-yard line. Jacobson fires it out to Berrigan out on the edge. Berrigan sets a Tiger down, turns, gets 5 more yards, 6 more yards as he's across the 50 to the 44-yard line. What a play and what a move by Caden Berrigan.
And you continue to put pressure on this cornerback. So we saw Aiden Gordon on this bottom side earlier on. Right there was Caden Good. Just got put in a little spin cycle. But that's what you want to do. You want to put pressure on defensive backs to make one-on-one tackles in the open field. And just a great play from Southeast right there. Yards after the catch are always so huge with this offense, and you saw why right there.
65 yards on 4 catches unofficially for Caden Berrigan tonight. He had a good night last week against Minneapolis, off to a really, really good start. He finished the year last year as one of the better receivers on this team, along, of course, with Tucker Thaxton. 1st down and 10 from the Clay Center 44. Here's the fake to Gebhardt. Jacobson looked like maybe he would pitch that ball, and just kind of the head and shoulder fake basketball style ends up getting 12 out of the play.
And Devin, we can hear from the press box. You could hear a couple of people in the stands being like, laughing a little bit. They thought there might be a little pitch right there. The relationship with those two, you never know what's going to go on. They've done all these things in backyards. We're going to talk about that all the time because they've grown up together. They've played since they were flag football as, kindergartners. I mean, these guys, they know what each other's moves are going to be, and we wouldn't be surprised right there if we saw a little lateral to Gebhardt. But right there, great job from Jacobs just tucking the ball. Big 1st down.
I love the pictures that are shared on social between Jacobson and Gebhardt and Tiernan Potacic. They're kind of the 3 amigos, even though Tiernan's a junior this year. Here's Grady tries it out on the right-hand side, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and then he is stopped for no gain on the play. But you look, I mean, they go all the way back, as you said, like flag football. They go all the way back. They were too small to wear T-shirts.
Well,
I mean, it's
but it's something we talk about all the time. When parents coach, and all three of them have dads that coach, they've grown up knowing nothing else. And their dads were coaching them in flag football. Could you imagine showing up just getting off your job and seeing that you're coaching against Mitch Gebhart, Chance Patajek, and Kit Jacobson? Like, that's a tough coaching staff playing flag football.
2nd down and 10. They'll go fake to Gebhart. Jacobson will keep it. Plants his leg, gets up in the seam inside of the 25-yard line, and he's brought down at the 24-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play by Gannon on that run.
Devin, that's my favorite play in the world right there. It's a little guard tackle read. So what Gannon had right there, he had the guard and tackle pulling right there, a little old school GT. He had that. If he doesn't see, if that 5-tech right there collapses, he's going to hand that ball off. The 5-tech didn't. He read that. He was taking care of Gebhart. So he held on to the football, followed his guard and tackle. Nice game from Southeast of Saline.
3rd and 1 at the 24. Knocking on the door of the Case IH red zone once again. Pistol formation. Jacobson will turn, give it to Gebhart. Grady has it in the red zone and more. 15, 10. Bounces it outside. Touchdown, Grady Gebhart. Grady made that look silly as he started up the middle, then bounced it outside and made it look super, super easy. 24 yards away, and now unofficially over 200 yards on the evening.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to the offensive line. Give a lot of credit to Gebhart. But it was Teal on the outside that continued that block. A lot of times when you're a wide receiver, you just kind of forget about blocking. Teal did not. Continue to make that block, and right there, Gebhart did a great read off Teal's backside and takes it to the outside for another touchdown.
So Southeast on the board once again, this time with 5:55 left to go. Going for 2, Jacobson sprints out to the right-hand side. Good block by Bryson Lippold. Now a late pass, and it's going to be knocked out of the air by Caden Good. Boy, he showed some athleticism there, and that's the first 2-pointer that Southeast has missed here tonight. So with 5:55 left to go, Southeast of Saline adds on another 6. They lead at 46-7 as you listen to Trojan football right here on KINA.
Are you looking to upgrade your home with high-quality flooring and appliances? Look no further than Salina Appliance and Flooring. We're your one-stop shop for all your home improvement needs. We offer a wide selection of flooring and appliance options. Visit our showroom today located at 740 North 9th or our website at salinaappliance.com.
The Appliance Center, your local, trustworthy, and family-owned appliance dealer, providing sales, service, and parts for Salina and the surrounding area since 1980. The Appliance Center, just north of Ace Hardware on Broadway in the red and white building. Stop in today and experience the Appliance Center difference.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here on the campus of Southeast of Saline, a successful home opener ready to be put in the book. Still a little ways to go here as Southeast of Saline leads it. 5:55 left to go. 46-7 is our score. By the way, we talked last week about how Mitch Gebhart and this coaching staff has never lost a season opener. They've never lost a home opener either. They're getting ready to go 16-0 in home openers to start the season. It's always good when you start out with a win in your first game as Malachi Hopkins gets ready to kick it away. Oh, by the way, the last 4 carries for Grady Gebhart. Remember that one carry that went for no yards? That one's included in this. He has 4 carries, 177 yards, and 3 touchdowns on his last 4 carries. Remember, he had 30 yards at the half. This ball gets away from the Tigers, rolls all the way back into the end zone. They're going to whistle it dead there. That's an automatic touchback, and the Tigers will come out and start out at the 20-yard line. That last drive by Southeast, by the way, 80 yards down the field for 6.
And again, we talk about, do you take the starters out? What do? You still can't get game-like reps unless you're playing in a game. And you're not going to see opponents like Clay Center. You got a big matchup next week, obviously. We'll talk about that next week. It's all about being 1-0. You're worried about this right here. But this is what happens when you have competition like Clay Center. You're going to do everything you can. You cannot get better against great teams unless you're playing competition like Clay Center. Don't let the scoreboard fool you. It's 46-7 right now, but this Clay Center team is good. They do a lot of things that the rest of the schedule might not show Southeast of Saline.
Tyler Bramblett into the game along with Casson Clover. James Friesen into the game as well, as Clay Center runs it straight up the gut. Brody Chambers still in there. Also Drew Weller still in there. Tristan Swank still in there. Lyric Lilly has come into the game. Josh Watkins as well. That last carry by Isaac Girton went for 2. His 28th carry of the night. 2nd and 8 from the 22-yard line. Another carry by Girton and another 2 yards.
Yeah, just smothered. And a name that we continue to say is Watkins. And here's why Watkins can be super important. Anytime you can give Grady Gebhardt spells defensively, like super dangerous offensively, he's just as dangerous defensively. However, if you can give Gebhardt a couple breaks on defense, Watkins can be super valuable to the Southeast defense just to keep Grady as fresh as he can be.
Yeah, we talked about it being hot. And Mitch Gebhardt, when him and I were talking about the weather last week, he was almost not really that happy with it being cool. He wanted it to be hot because he said, I don't want my guys to get used to this because it's going to turn back. It's going to be hot. And we've seen that the last few years. Weeks 2, 3, and 4 are up over 90 at kickoff, and that was the case here tonight. I haven't looked at the 10-day about next week, but we're not done with the heat yet. And I think Grady at one point was over here telling the trash can a joke. And
Coach Gebhardt's like any great coach.
Nothing happened, by the way. It was a teaser.
Yes, there you go. He's never happy. He's always looking to improve.
5-yard penalty there for Clay Center. Takes him back 5 yards. They're going to throw the football, and it's incomplete. 0 of 5 passing the football for Clay Center here in this game. That penalty took him back to the 18-yard line, where it is now 4th down. The punt team comes on. Boy, give those guys that are out there on the field right now defensively for Southeast a lot of credit, because they got to stop. Just force Clay Center off the field, 3 and out.
Without a doubt. And again, that's culture. I know it's such a silly thing to say when you're up 46-7, but that means you don't stop. You continue to do what you're doing. It doesn't matter who's on the field. That means you read the scouting report, you've listened during the Indy and during team time.
Here's a punt, low snap, but Girton got it. Hopkins will take it at the 49. He's going to angle left, and a Tiger comes darting through and ends that return before it got going. It looked like it had some promise. He had Gannon Jacobson out trying to set a lead block and a little bit of seam outside. But, boy, Clay Center Tiger came through and took that one away. And now we're going to have some big substitutions here on offense as well. Tiernan Potachik is into the game. We haven't seen a lot of Tiernan tonight. He might have gotten banged up a little bit in the Minneapolis game last week. We'll check on that. He played a lot of defense last week. Also played almost the whole second half at quarterback. He's out there right now. And he's going to have James Friesen with him. Also out there be Jaden Kloster. Tyler Bramblett out on the edge with him as well. Up on the offensive line, Kane Sawyer's into the game. Tyson Keller, I don't remember if I said him or not. Adam Teal is still out there. Snap back to Potachik. He'll give it to Levon Hopkins. Hopkins bounces it out. Left-hand side, switches the ball to the outside hand, and he's going to get 6 yards on the play.
And, Devin, it's a little thing. You said it right there. Hopkins puts that ball to the outside. That gives him another yard. And you talk about tackling Hopkins. We discussed this again last week. You're going to have to make a business decision if you want to make the tackle or not. As you see a Clay Center player cramping up, it looks like. But Hopkins will lower that shoulder. And the value of putting that ball on the outside shoulder means you can lower that inside shoulder and really deliver hits as opposed to taking hits. And Hopkins looks like the type he wants to deliver something.
Have a stoppage in play. We'll not take a timeout. The Clay Center Tiger is up and limping off the field. Noah Gibson was the Tiger that was down. Chance to remind you that Southeast of Saline football brought to you by the Shelter Insurance Agency of Kelly Kitchener. Also, Bank of Tesket, Bryson Flax, Ryan Roofing, Salina Fence Company, Sage Products. They give you that home field advantage when you're at Southeast of Saline. Brand new restrooms. You want to have nice products, right? Sage Products. It's one thing we miss when we're out on the road. Messenger Total Promotions, the official outfitter of the Salina Post and KINA Sports Crew. We get outfielded, me and Tyler, with some Messenger Total Promotions gear all season long. I want to thank them. 2nd down and 5 after the 5-yard gain by Levon Hopkins. First carry of the night. Pistol formation, Potachik. He's going to send a guy in motion, now turn. Give it to Hopkins. Left-handed handoff. Hopkins will get him maybe a yard on the play.
Drew Hoffman makes the stop for Clay Center. Short gain.
See, also out there, we talked about Kane Sawyers on the offensive line. Also joining him will be Elijah Kerr. Still out there, Ryan Weller. He's been in and out of the lineup tonight. Eli Jennings out there. Larry Kalili also on the field right now for Southeast of Saline. 3rd down and 4 for the Trojans. As Tyler makes his way down to the Salina Ortho sidelines to get the last couple of minutes of this game. 3:17 left to play here in the 4th quarter. Tiernan turns around, hands it to Levon Hopkins. He is straight ahead. He is going to be flirting with a first down. Very, very close, maybe a half a yard away. It'll be 4th down and short. 3 carries, 9 yards for Levon Hopkins. He's about a football away. As that football is sitting just inside of the 40-yard line, he needs to get to the 39 to move the chains. I imagine Southeast will probably go for it here. Hopkins is a load. Talk about him. He has just powerful legs. 205-pound junior. Potacek right now out there at quarterback. He's a junior. Larry Kalili, a junior. Tyler Bramblett, junior, on the outside. Here's the give to Hopkins. He's going to bounce it out left. Look out, 35, 30, and a first down. A carry of 9 on 4th and a football. Levon Hopkins takes 9 yards from this Clay Center defense. Now Levon, 4 carries, 18 yards. Coming in here late in this game in a big Trojan lead, 46-7, 2:15 left to go here in this game.
Devin, it's great coming on the sidelines. Walked by Sterling Harp, who's done magical things on this football field for years for Southeast Saline. He just looks at me, he's just too big. They're just too big right now, and that's what Hopkins does. He just lowers that shoulder. That's a big boy.
Yeah,
that right there, and he gets it going. Man, he delivers blows.
He is magical on his feet for his size. We've seen 2 runs bouncing it to the outside and getting the better angle when that first hole that he is supposed to be in is kind of closed. This one here, he runs into the back of one of his linemen. He's going to settle for a yard on this play. 5 carries, 19 yards now for Levon as we are inside of 2 minutes left to play. Don't forget, in postgame, on the Commercial Tires postgame report, we'll have Mitch Gebhardt. We will also have stats. We'll check some scores on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard, a Showcase Diamond Jewelers gem of the game, and an Everhart Precision Ag pass of the game. Quite a few passes to talk about here in this one. Gannon Jacobson, a good night for him. 12 of 19 throwing the football. Tiernan Potacek's in there now. 2nd down and 9 at the 29-yard line. Pistol formation. Hopkins has it again. He's going to angle off on the right-hand side. Gets 2 on that play. As Southeast of Saline just taking a few yards at a time and melting down that clock. We are inside a minute left to go.
But again, every one of these reps is super important. You saw right there, Hopkins goes in. There's 4 Clay Center defenders. Hopkins doesn't shy away. Covers the football. 2 hands. As you see right now, it looks like victory formation for Southeast.
It's 3rd down and about 7. And Southeast of Saline's going to cover it up, and they're going to take a knee here and end this game. So Southeast of Saline will go 2-0 with a big win here over Clay Center. Clay Center will move to 1-1. 46-7, our final score. Southeast of Saline beats the Tigers here at Steve Fritz Field. We'll step away. When we come back, we'll have the coach, Mitch Gebhardt, on the field with Tyler Smith live here on KINA. It's coming up after a big Trojan victory. The Commercial Tire Center's postgame report begins now on KINA.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach, right off Crawford, and in the Central Mall, Salina, and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
Sage is your go-to source for industrial strength cleaning products, ice melt, floor equipment, paper, asphalt, and just about everything in between. Whether you're a maintenance supervisor, a small business, or just wanting your home to look amazing, stop by 732 North 9th Street in Salina, where we will be happy to assist you. You can also visit us at sageselects.com or call us at 309-1919. Sage Products, the right call every time.
It's 3rd down and 8 for the Trojans. They really need to make the right call here.
During the football game, it's crucial to make the right call. And in real estate, one call can bring a positive outcome from your real estate experience. Whether you're looking for rural property, upsizing to make room for the family, downsizing, or acquiring investment property, call Winnell Garrettson at SalinaHomes.com.
What a call! Touchdown, Trojans!
Buy or sell, call Winnell.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins!
Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at Copyco. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, Copyco also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now, he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
Time for the Trojan postgame show on KINA Sports. Stick around for the game recap, final stats, and reaction from the coach. This is Trojan football on KINA.
Back here in postgame, it's brought to you by the Commercial Tire Centers. 2 locations in Salina. Also a location if you're on the road and need service in Topeka. Proud supporter of Southeast of Saline Athletics. In the postgame report, 46-7. The final score, Southeast of Saline moves to 2-0 on the season. Now all their attention, after a little bit of a celebration, I'm sure will be turned to the Beloit Trojans. And boy, 2 meetings with the Trojans last year, one of them that epic game in the playoffs. Be interesting to watch that game and the renewal of the Trojan War next week as we will travel to Beloit. But for now, Southeast is 2-0 on the night. And boy, let's give a Vernon Jewelers Gym of the Game with their anniversary sale they have going on right now. It's through the 15th, so you have till Monday to get in and save at least 20% off store-wide. Also, register, no purchase necessary. You can register for a 2-carat diamond that they're going to give away at Vernon Jewelers. I'm going to say the Southeast of Saline defense is our Gym of the Game tonight. They played outstanding in this contest. They gave up 1 score, and they were able to let their offense go out there and do the work. 2 takeaways tonight for Southeast of Saline. Right now, their turnover margin in this season is +3, as they had 2 takeaways tonight. They had 1 last week, and they have not turned the ball over themselves as of yet. Tonight, it was Bryson Lippold with a fumble recovery that led to a touchdown, and Caden Berrigan with an interception in the third quarter that led to a touchdown as well, as Southeast of Saline wins it 46-7. Unofficially, Clay Center, all rushing yards on the ground, no passing yards, 211 rushing yards tonight for Clay Center in this game. Meanwhile, they were unable to outrush Grady Gebhardt. Let's go down on the field. Here is Coach with Tyler.
Coach Gebhardt, 1-0 again for the second straight week. Outscored Clay Center 30-7 in the second half. Tell us about your defensive line. It seems like they did a great job. Just how important is that defensive line against this offense?
It's huge. I mean, the defensive line is key in everything you do defensively, but against a team like this, it's they need to make piles, and when they can make tackles, they need to make tackles. So, and I felt like we rotated several guys in there tonight, and I really felt like they did a good job. They let the linebackers flow down to make tackles, and they made several tackles tonight also. So I thought they played outstanding.
And I know it's something you don't like talking about a lot, but your son just put on a show for about 3 or 4 carries and absolutely just flipped this game on the end. How special was it to see Grady just get out and run? Obviously, the offensive line did a great job. Your receivers did a great job blocking. But how much fun was it watching Grady just as a dad? How much fun was that?
Well, it's great to have good running backs, and we have for a long time, and Grady did a good job of reading blocks. And when you read blocks and then can break a tackler too once in a while, they turn into long runs. I was pumped because of 3 or 4 of the blocks that he got, not just at the line of scrimmage. Obviously, he has to have those blocks at the line of scrimmage, but 3 or 4 blocks that he got downfield that he can cut off of and get in the end zone. I mean, that's team stuff that we talk about all the time, and you want kids to do. And I'm awful proud of that.
No, it is team stuff. We saw great wide receiver blocking. Touchdown right here, though. Gebhardt had 2 decisions to make: either go to the end zone easily, unscathed, untouched, or deliver a blow. What does that do for a culture? What is that? That's the mentality it seems like you've invested into all these guys, and they continue to do. What is that send? What message does that send to the rest of the guys?
Well, and we talk about being physical all the time. I mean, whether we're playing in camp in the summer or we're playing game 10 of the season or whatever it is, we talk about being physical and things like that. I don't want him getting a penalty, and I'm sure how close that was, but if we're trying to get in the end zone, we're gonna get in however we can.
It seems like it's a mentality you continue to keep. 1-0 yet again, 2-0 going into a big battle. Celebrate tonight. We can't wait to see you next week against a Beloit team. All right.
Thank you.
Mitch Gebhardt on the field with Tyler Smith. That interview brought to you by Frisbee Construction down on the Salina Ortho sidelines. Boy, what a game this was tonight for Southeast of Saline. And you can't help but to just kind of relish in it a little bit and look and smile at what you did tonight if you're Southeast of Saline. We've talked about this series with Clay Center being a beneficial one for Southeast over the last couple of years. Just a 2-point victory for Southeast in a classic game last year, a 5-point victory for Southeast in another classic game 2 years ago. Tonight it was not close, 46-7. Southeast of Saline gets the victory. Let's go now for our Everhart Precision Ag Precision Pass of the game. Let's go all the way back to 9:11 left to go in the third quarter. Not only the timestamp on this being 9:11 in this week and everything that was saluted and remembered yesterday, but just a touchdown pass. Gannon Jacobson, he had one tonight, and it was a screenplay to Grady Gebhardt of 14 yards that made the game 24-0 after the Canyon Douglas 2-point conversion run. That our Everhart Precision Ag Precision Pass of the night. Let's go over final stats for you, presented by the Bank of Tesket. Let's first go over to the Clay Center Tigers. Once again, no passing yards for the Tigers. They had 211 yards rushing, and they had 2 turnovers, an interception and a fumble. For Southeast of Saline, rushing the football, they were led by Grady Gebhardt, 15 carries, 218 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground for Grady. Gannon Jacobson had 9 carries, 62 yards, 21 yards on 6 carries for Levon Hopkins, and 10 yards on 1 carry for Canyon Douglas. Southeast of Saline in the air, all the passes thrown by Gannon Jacobson tonight, 12 of 19 passing the football, 198 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions for the second straight game. His favorite targets were Caden Berrigan, 4 catches, 65 yards. Bryson Lippold had 3 catches, 46 yards. 2 catches by Malachi Hopkins, 21 yards. A catch for 2 yards by Marion Hollub, and a catch of 14 yards and a touchdown by Grady Gebhardt. A catch of 55 yards. Probably should have been a touchdown. I don't know. Still looked like he was not out of bounds, but I'll have trouble letting that one go. Canyon with 55 yards on that play. As Southeast of Saline racks up 311 yards on the ground, 198 in the air, a total unofficially of 509 yards of total offense in a game tonight that they invited the Clay Center Tigers in, a bigger school from Class 3A who has a really good football program under head coach Mark Henry, and tonight it was all purple.
Yeah, it was everything you needed to see, right? We heard Coach Mitch Gebhardt talk about his defense, talked about, you were tested in so many different ways. We talked about how clean their defensive secondary was, Southeast was, because the first 2 levels took care of everything. But it's recognition, it's reading that stuff. The defensive line, the linebackers, great job defensively and offensively. You didn't have to throw the ball much. It's take what they're going to give you, and that's exactly what the Southeast offense did. And Grady Gebhardt didn't just take; he took with everything. I mean, what an amazing second half. And again, it was 16-0. I think we felt that the game was always in control. But Grady just took that game in the offensive line, and like Coach Gebhardt said, the perimeter blocking, that's something that's not easy to do. That's why wide receivers are normally wide receivers, because they can't block. But if you're not able to block as a wide receiver, you will not play at Southeast of Saline. And we saw so many great down-the-field blocks that sprung Gebhardt for huge, huge numbers tonight.
Yeah, as I talked, 211 yards by the Clay Center offense. I don't know how many plays they ran. I'll get those stats later from Coach Potocik, but 211 yards offensively. They were all rushing yards, and they still were 7 yards short of what Grady Gebhardt did. And again, I go back, he had 30 yards at halftime. I mentioned, remember that first drive, they went 3 and out, did Southeast. I said, man, Clay Center has just been keying on Grady Gephardt all night long, and then all of a sudden, look out, the floodgates opened, and he ripped off some big carries on his way to a 4-touchdown night. He now has 6 rushing touchdowns on the season, and Grady Gephardt tonight, one of the stars of the game, along with the Southeast of Saline Trojans, who we didn't see mass substitutions like we did the entire second half last week against Clay Center, but Tyler, I'm telling you, man, we're still seeing guys second, third string coming in, sometimes at key times. We saw a lot of play tonight from Josh Hopkins, and people coming in, Weller, and there's just guys coming in playing all over the place that we are seeing on this. Elijah Kerr, Josh Watkins, another one. Sorry, I said Hopkins, Josh Watkins, but you just see these guys coming out and just plugging in key times of the game. That's how you're building depth, and that's how you get through seasons where you might play 13 games again instead of 9. Or, it's just one of those things that I admire about this coaching staff. And so far, things are going according to plan, right? You're relatively injury-free. You've just played a tough physical game. You got a good one waiting on you next week as well with the Beloit Trojans, who, at last check, they were leading Concordia. I haven't got an update lately on that game, but I'm sure we'll have an update from John Swanson on the scoreboard show as we go across Kansas from 10 until 11 o'clock tonight as the Sacred Heart game has gone final. Sacred Heart did score. Plainville won 51-7. So we'll go wait for a Beloit score. The scoreboard show tonight, 10 until 11 o'clock, is brought to you by Salina Surgical Hospital. Here tonight, it's all Trojans. 46-7. They go to 2-0, and we will go to Beloit next Friday night. It all starts at 5:30 with the K-Preps statewide preview show. Then at 6 o'clock, Tyler Henry and I get more focused on the area and local schools. It's brought to you by Kansas Wesleyan on our Friday night preview, and then at 6:30 we will start Trojan pregame. We'll also have live stream video for you next week from Beloit. That will be brought to you by Salina Ortho from Beloit next Friday night. For Nick Garst back at Studio Central, Tyler Smith here in the booth with me. My name is Devin Haney. I want to thank you for joining us for Southeast of Saline Trojan football tonight. The Trojans win it 46-7, and you heard it right here on KINA.